you ever imagined creating your own PUBG game mode? Well, now with UGC Alpha, that imagination becomes real. All Plus users can create UGC Alpha sessions. Getting started is simple. Just go to Custom Match, UGC Alpha tab, then create your own session or join a friend's. By default, only the host can edit the mode, but editing permission can be granted to participants through settings. With UGC Alpha, you can place props, build custom maps, and set your own game rules. Anyone can join and play, up to 100 players per session. Want a simple but challenging parkour mode? Or maybe a chaotic deathmatch? You make the rules. You can save your creations anytime, or load them up later to keep building, even if it's not your mode. If you find a fun session while playing, just hit Save As and keep a copy for yourself. Need a head start? Try one of the official sample modes provided in-game. In the next video, we'll dive into object placement, movement controls, and how to bring your map to life. You can use the standard WASD keys to walk around. Double-tap the spacebar to switch to flying mode. Tap C to descend and space again to go up. Hit B to enter build mode. Now you can start placing props and devices anywhere on the map. To open the full editor, press P to launch the Edit Manager. Here, you'll see all available props, from walls and stairs to full buildings. Click any object, then press 0 to 9 to assign it to a quick slot. You can now press that key to place the object instantly. Need to fine-tune? Use E and R to rotate or scale. Use F and G to adjust distance. Press X to lock to axes, and Y to ignore collision. Want to test gravity? Just hit T to toggle gravity on your object. You can also copy, delete, or multi-select with simple mouse clicks and hotkeys. Next up, we'll show you how to set the rules of your game. Rounds, respawns, teams, you control it all. Let's dive into the rules setting. Press P to open the Edit Manager, then switch to the Rule Set tab. Here, you can fully customize your game logic. Set the number of rounds. Choose a score limit or time limit to end each round. Define how many teams play, anywhere from 2 to 100. Set team size, 1 to 10 players per team. Enable or disable respawn, and set its cooldown timer. Add invincibility after respawn for smoother gameplay. By enabling fill test players, you can spawn dummy bots to test whether your custom mode is functioning properly. If you'd like to play a solo game instead of a team match, simply adjust the team count and team size settings in the rule setting menu. For example, if you want a 100-player free-for-all solo match, set team count to 100 and team size to 1. Next up, we'll introduce the devices.
A collaboration with ESPA, and some changes to vehicle camo netting. All this and more as we dive into the Update 36.2 patch report. First up, Miramar is getting a visit from the K-pop group ESPA. All across the Badlands, you'll find concert venues, decor, and other visuals based on the group. Many other maps have ESPA visuals, such as themed care packages and planes as well. There's also an emote stage on the starting island of every 8x8 map for you to perform some of their most iconic tracks, including their latest hit. Next up, vehicle camo netting is seeing a durability improvement and is being added to Rondo and Tago this update as well. The improved durability only applies to bullet damage, and there are still some conditions in which the netting is instantly destroyed, so check out the patch notes for full details. The clan system is also getting some love. There are new ways to show off your achievements, including a new weekly ranking page, along with new clan tag plates. Full details in the patch notes. There's also a new Survivor Pass. Regions with duo mode can now choose one-man duo in normal and ranked. And we've tackled some bugs, so be sure to check out the patch notes for details on everything. Update 36.2 is here, so park the car in a safe spot and get ready to rock out with ESPA. We'll see you on the battlegrounds.
Welcome back, everyone. It's PUBG time. Player Cup. God, what is this week? Week number 11, circuit 13. It's been a long time, but it is a complete reset. I'm Mark Power. I'm joined by the amazing Koho. He joins us after we kick Fadix back out. Get out of there, Fadix. We're bringing the pro player back. But we are a complete reset now. 16 teams want to try and duke their way through. And obviously, more importantly, with those 16 teams contending today, Koho, we'll be looking for a top 8 to go through. Exciting times. I'm going to leave the point system, though, for you to talk about, because that is also a huge change this week.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. That's going to throw everything, again, up in the air a little bit. But yeah, like you said, same time, we're restarting a circuit. We finished the Super Cup. You and Felix did the honors, and we'll talk about that in a bit. And we are back at the start. We're back at a Player Cup. We're looking at top 8s this weekend. And then in the next Player Cup, you said it's week 11. It's circuit 6 if you want to always put 2 Player Cups in a Super Cup or 2 players in a Masters in a circuit. Both kind of works. But we're back at the start of the circuit.
Yeah, the most important thing, obviously, as Carl says, we've got 2 weeks here. So obviously this is where the guys are reset. We've done loads of qualification through the week where they've done best of 3s. We've got points on the board. And then obviously we took our top 16 teams that we're competing at today. We'll be looking from a top 8 point of view. We'll be going to the end of this circuit. And that's the big one. We're going for a Masters. We had a Super last weekend, but Masters is even bigger. But that aside, the biggest thing for me actually this week is the point reset. I've been saying it's been half-price chicken dinner for ages. It's been harping on about the sales that have been going on. But we're back to kind of what feels potentially a battle royale here. We've got 10 points for a win again compared to 5. But then obviously for a second place, though, we'll only be kicking in with 5 points. So it has changed slightly. That doesn't mean we go down to a 6. And that's going to be, I feel like, have a more of emphasis back on getting a win. Not like it wasn't the case first, Koho, but I think with 10 points back on the table, a win for a team and not as many kills still could be a big game for someone.
The wins are massive again, and that's great. I think that's great to see. It always felt, for me, it felt a little bit very different when the winning team gets outdone by just a few kills on the other side, right? So that's nice to see for me. I think that's cool. And then we are taking away quite a bunch of placement points still. So from the old Super format, right, we're taking a placement point away from every placement except the first place. So that's a significant amount overall. But we're keeping the nature of winning matters. And I like both of those things. I think both of those are cool. I've even said in the past, I'd be down for a win to mean more. But that's a very controversial subject. Some people hate it, some people love it. But I think this is a cool middle ground. And we are trying out things, right? Like, we are trying out different formats. We're trying out different patches here in the Players Tour. And I'm excited to see what the players' take on it is.
So you got to see some of the teams. There's the prize pool. Obviously, we are in the Player Cup, so there is $1,000 up for grabs. And this is the first time, obviously, as I said, these teams and players are working their way through. This is the first point, obviously, we can get money, and they're looking for a top 8. Obviously, yes, you get some money. Yes, you get a reward, realistic through for top 4. But these players are really keen to make sure they get into a top 8 because they want to be taking on the money, whether it's a 5 or whether it's a 20. They wanted to get more money at the end of the show. Big topic for me. Obviously, we see a lot of the names starting to return, and we have some names that are sending their way across and safe travel to everyone that's going to EWC. But for Esports, I want to quickly talk to them because I know we're going to get the game started as quickly as possible. For Esports, they've got Cappy in today from Team Poland. So obviously they've been looking for that 4th player. They've tried Shro, they had Nidix. Now they're trying Cappy. So I'm really intrigued to see how this team sort of falls with him. He's quite an aggressive player. He's young, he's happy, he's excited. He's got good gun skills. Will he fit into the mix, though? That's the big question.
Yeah, it's super interesting. It's a very different lineup, and if I'm not mistaken, they're playing with Miracle as well today, so a lot of subbing going on that roster, and it's going to be interesting to see how that slots in. Cappy is a massive fragger. He's a massive talent on that team. He's a boy with potential as well. We know that, right? If you've got the mechanics, then the rest can always be taught. So going to be interesting to see how he pops off. Here's a reminder of the format. We are once again at the top purple blob. We've gone through the week 1 scrims. And we are in the first Player Cup. So it's going to be top 8 this weekend. And then it's going to be top 8 in the next Player Cup, which will be week 12 already. Time is going fast, Mark.
it is going fast. This year has gone really quick. Every weekend is a PUBG weekend. But again, if you are unsure, you've never seen this before, you can sign up though for next week, or not next week, the week after. For the week 2, you do best of 3s, you get points underneath your team's belt, and if you get enough points at the end of it and you find yourself in a top team, you'll make sure that you'll find yourself in a position here. And as I said, this is the first time you'll be getting the opportunity to get yourself into, this time will be the Masters, which is a longer format, but it has more money up for grabs. Best of 4 though today, best of 8 over the weekend, which means we go playing 1 map a day. Going to be aggressive. I still think the points are going to come a lot from the kills, but as I said, we mentioned before, obviously with that placement, it's going to be really interesting. Expectations though for these teams here, Kyle, before we kick things off, because we have loaded the plane.
2 things I want to get off my chest before we start. First of all, I think it's going to take time for teams to adapt back from the old format a little bit. It always takes time to adapt. Teams took time to start getting aggressive and start getting sneaky for these early game kills. Some of those habits are going to have stuck, and some of those, sometimes you learn something, right? Sometimes you realize, this actually kind of works pretty consistently. Maybe we should do that more. So some of that playstyle is going to stick. And then on the other hand, this is a week 1. This is usually the more stacked week as we head into Miramar, but it's pre-EWC week, right? So tons of players already traveling to EWC. Some players maybe taking 1 weekend off in between EWC and PNC if they're playing, if they played in one of those 2. So we are going to have a slightly softer field and a slightly better chance for our newer teams to get something going.
Well, it's time to get things going now. It is week 1 again, day number 1 with match number 1, and we are coming in from a low southeast across to a west. So we do favour more of this south side. But Kai, I do want to elaborate your point more, because it's something that's been on my mind when I saw the new point format come out, and I think you're 100% right, mate. We spent so much energy now going aggressive, and some teams who historically haven't been aggressive have had to learn to be aggressive. Now we're going back. I'm really intrigued, especially for these first couple of maps. Are we going to see teams maybe go a little bit more aggressive? Are they going to just be in this kind of default mode, that kind of gear number 2? Well, actually, hold on, we need to go get some kills. We need to get some kills early. Be intrigued to see how this kind of unfolds. Plane's done and dusted. We've got a few teams pretty close to each other, but no hot drops just yet.
Nothing just yet, just the classic struggles. Not even a ton of vehicle struggles, because the plane is central enough for almost everybody to be okay. Take all around will be around the Minas area. They will watch Win or Die float off towards Hacienda. We're going to see a team hive in Power Grid, and we're going to see a circle go right back down to the south, firmly centered on resorts. Plenty of water in play. A few people in chat will start fantasizing about Partona. I'm telling you now, it's not very likely, but it is still in the zone.
I've had one, and it was chaos. I don't know if I want to go back there, mate, if I'm honest with you. Just that it was a complete circle. No one felt like they were safe. I can't see the Partona, but what I can say, God, how many times are we getting Lost Leones? I feel like the zone is homed into the heart and the soul. Skittles, though, have been playing quite well. We saw them, though, in the last circuit. Maybe not get the aggressive start, should we say. They only produced 1 game, really, on that first day, which I think impacted them a bit later. But a good team on the return. They actually have that whole section to themselves. Down a body, but at least for them, they get maybe the choice of any of those compounds on that south side. Expectations for me, though, that kind of north of resort, where we see that sort of play down to that T-junction. I think that'd be a really critical area, especially for a team, maybe if they are down bodies, trying to get to that location early and maybe lock that one down.
Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting. This is one of those circles where we usually see tons and tons of teams south of Los Leones with some access to the hill, because they want to have both ways, right? They want to get into Los Leones if it's a Leones circle, and they want to have info on the south if they can, because many of the times it won't go there. But plenty of spots that are really good in this zone, and the phase 1 doesn't tell us that much. Phase 2 might tell us a lot if it does go all the way south, Mark, because then suddenly you know, okay, this is coming back from the water. Maybe Resort is massive. Maybe the crossroads north of Partona is massive. But phase 1 doesn't tell us a lot, so many teams are going to be gambling a little bit here. And
for anyone that is new in chat, just to remind you, the car doesn't really fit in there, but just an FYI. This is the TPP circuit. Anything with the player cups, obviously, is a TPP objective. This is the additional circuit for all the players to earn some extra money. As I said, you can get involved as well. Just get yourself into challenger mode. We'll get some links into chat as well, and make sure you sign you and your team up, and you'll be doing best of 3s through the week. As I said, you just need to get some points confirmed against your team, and you might find yourself being cast by the amazing Koho in week number 2.
Selling yourself the short there, but
Yeah, you're the pro.
sure.
You're the pro. I love Felix. I missed you on Sunday there, mate. I missed you. You was out enjoying the sunshine.
Enjoying the rain more than anything, but nice to have some grass every now and then. That's a headshot coming out from Nosferatu. Oh, he connects it. Oh, the fade away, man. He wasn't even aiming anymore, but he still finds it at the end.
That is difficult as well because the players are not around to provide the support. They're further afield. Now comes the flush. That was a complete fade away, but it faded to our first kill here. Zloy, who is a strong contender, we said from the weeks before, a household name in the TPP circuit. He won't be happy. His extension down towards the south, he went one compound too far. And as a result, he's now sitting in the lobby.
Yep, it's the name of the game. Hurts double if you start the game as 3, which is something Skills have done an insane amount of times. Especially considering their performance. The amount of times they've played as 3 is crazy, and yeah, that's honestly... That's gonna sting a little bit. When Zloy comes and watches the stream, he's gonna be a little bit upset about that one, but to be fair, he was in danger, he got too close, and he does get punished for it.
Yeah, he does get punished. One compound, too many. Lost Jones now 3. The teams have worked their way down. Conquest on the other side. Actually, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel our Conquest I was quite disappointed with on the end of the last circuit. I was expecting a little bit more from them. Maybe the strength of the lobby proved a little bit too difficult. Maybe they couldn't get the rotation in they wanted to, but glad to see them back here, back at this stage, qualifying their way through. So definitely, for me, player cup, like, comfortable. I'm interested to see if they can get a top 8 here, which I'll be expecting it. Get that chip, get that chip.
But, brother, you gotta get out.
Pop a smoke, it's not like you've got 2 of them.
That's so risky. What the hell? I mean, just get a smoke out there, but I guess he just wanted to use the timing, and I respect that a lot. He knows the res is coming through, the timing is okay, but he's full open. A headshot body shot instantly would take him down with the DMR. Haven't been nerfed just yet. That's still coming. That is some risky business, but does have the chip now. Could go into Los Leones for the res. The only question is, where did they get the loot from? Or the new player, because I don't think he grabbed a lot off that body.
No, I think it was just a pure grab the chip and go, right? Obviously, we've got the opportunity to go back to the recall system that came from Los Leones. Now, Jay Vardy, which I'm going to assume is Jamie Vardy, the football player. He got caught. Difficult to rotate out there from the car. They got the res back in, so let's be cautious. Back to the other side of things, though. Hive. Big contenders, Rod Dante. Seeing the rotation. Just double checking before he makes that peek over the top to without dope. There's a lot more rotations further afield. And actually, we have a team camp here. The Saints are holding it down. And Wee-Woo, they might be punished here. The SLR comes through. He gets the initial miss, though. The Saints one comes in. He's out to a one-shot. He's able to get the knock. How is that possible?
Oh, yeah, that should have been the knock any day of the week. Now Mindset cruises in, but he's alone. It's an absolute disaster, Mark.
How one shot away? Team Saint, they've not got the Saint on their side. They're going to drop the anchor and send it away. Wee-Woo, they get a blessing. They get happy. And Vlad with the cookie crumbles, he's going to be able to park the car into a super secret location that no one else can get out. And he's going to have to make his way in. But Wee-Woo dodged a bullet there, and it was a fine line between life and getting knocked.
Oh, that was a little bit pain to watch. That should have gone reasonably well for the Saints. The SLR, right? It's... You hit that headshot, you got the knock secured, but you miss that first headshot, you start sweating. You can't pop out the shots as fast as you can. And there's already, I think the chips exploded right there and then.
I'm about to say exactly that, why that car is gone. For those that don't know, if you pop the chips in the car and you take the car out, you cannot get back to the infantry. And interesting, I played with a couple of random squads last week and they did not know that. So it's not as common knowledge as maybe we think. But yeah, if you want to ensure no one can come back, you just use the vehicles in your vicinity, pop the chips in there, and if the car's not there anymore, the chips will be no longer.
Yeah, your random teammates should have watched the the most recent Ascend video where yours truly goes over all these new tips and tricks? Yeah. Hashtag ad. But no. There's a few things. There's a few things you can do with the blue chips, and I've seen pros pull off a lot of them. I'm still waiting to see more baits with the blue chip, like actually not blowing it up, but putting it somewhere and just, you know, just waiting, just hiding, just figuring out who's going to come back for them. We've seen it in player cups here and there, but I feel like it's only been win or die, if I remember correctly. That is a banger from T-Bone, though. Gets himself the first. The rest of the team is there as well. They might get Sunflower as well.
Yeah, he got the initial shot, so he goes back away. One away. T-Bone needs to get a connection. Bit jet lagged from PNC, maybe. Doesn't quite. It's a bit windy on Miramar. Gets the nade, but unable to get the MK shots. Good nade, though, for him. He's rocking the Team UK level 3 helmet, so I've got to give him the benefit of the doubt there.
Yep. Representing. Congrats to him. He figured out which of those helmets is the UK one.
I love the Germany one, actually. I do really like the Germany one as well.
Yeah, me too.
I've not
Me
been able
too.
to get that.
I was pretty happy that that was one you could figure out easily. If I was a Canada fan or a Turkey fan, I would have been staring at those helmets for quite a while, trying to figure out which one to get. Phase 2 is about to come in, and Phase 2 is not going to the water. We can already tell. We've seen the minimap. Phase 2 is going firmly towards Los Leones, and plenty of other teams will have to reconsider. They might have set themselves up for a 50-50. They might have set themselves up on the edge of Los Leones, and that circle is now becoming a real possibility.
He's actually got more east than I expected, personally. We were thinking it's safe to go across the bridges, get punished by another team. Kill confirmed. So that's going to be a really good position there for FUT Esports. They'll be happy they've got some elevation, so they're going to be able to see a lot of these teams rotating in. And actually, from their position, all the way out towards east, no one else is there, as you can see from the map, right? So if they can contain everyone in the southwest corner, that's going to be advantages for teams like FUT Esports and like Win or Die there. Jedok's obviously moving his way now towards the south, so just trying to maybe close the opportunity for these teams to kind of scrabble their way back to the town. Another shift back to the north. That could be punishing for a lot of these teams stuck on the outside edge now.
Absolutely. We will, meanwhile, second bridge camp of the game. Doesn't go as well as the first one. And they decide to rotate back into the blue, or barely edge of a circle, to get themselves out of that situation. 8-8, Mochik. Trying to make things work at the compound, trying to get aggressive. Salik coming in. These are names we've seen before. These are experienced players, just under a new name. New team name, that is. And it's looking like both teams are happy to just contest for this compound, but a fight outside the building is the one that's going to pop off first.
Yeah, there's a trade either side. Flush comes straight in from Blazer. GZ takes opportunity to get a slight bit of elevation now, as they do have long building as they move on top of the other side, but can be exposed pretty easy. Takes a great amount of shots, and he goes down eventually. Now it's just the two remaining in the compound here. There he goes through, no connection just yet. Soon to follow with a blue zone nade. A lot more players getting used to this kind of nade than follow with a blue zone. It's good to see. They needed to really do some early damage from that one. But with Blazer down, gives an opportunity now, Koa, to move around the other side of the compound freely.
Both teams now struggling to keep it clean. Mochik spotted. He's got a right side peek if he wants it. He doesn't want to get it pinned down in the room. Doesn't want to get utiled out either. Zero swag on me. He's got to bounce something absolutely massive around the corner here. Not going to be easy.
Good.
Can Mochik dodge this? Is Mochik around the corner enough? Yes, he is. He lives. And he's going aggressive for it. He goes hunting.
Oh, he went for the first. That's unfortunate for him. Step in. Exchange goes for Select now, the final player. Zero. He's down. Third party action now starting to come in. See more players, more bodies from other teams looking to get involved. So he has to go for that seat swap. He does turn the engine on, so it's a bit of a giveaway. Now where he's going to try and work his way in. There goes the flash. Look around the corner. The bodies of the player, but he needs to be so careful. Jumps out. He's been flashed.
What?
He turns his back. He's not just one, it's two. Oh, but he gets punished. The Saints there to arrive, and the Salik falls. 8-8-8. First to fall here in 15th place.
Oh, that is so aggressive. That is absolutely crazy. If the Saints had more numbers, they'd be flying in right now. But the way they're set up, they're a little bit more hesitant than they otherwise would be, and maybe that's the time to get the reses. That was so aggressive. Skittles as well. They're just 3. They just got Sloyd back on his feet. He probably doesn't have all the loot he would want yet. So no third parties coming out. But that could have been an insane amount of damage done.
you get it. I don't even argue to say they should be reading the kill feed. Like, they should have seen bodies are down. They could have maybe moved in there. A 2 versus 2 potentially at the end, or 2v1. Not going to be the case. Zone shift away, though. And this is it. This is the replay. Look at Salik, though. He's full flashed here. He takes the hip fire, gets one. Now he goes down the sights, gets the second. He's completely free. Saints come in at the right time. Now comes the migration. A lot of teams got to move their way around. Footy Sports no need to move. Our win or die team actually take the flight. They're going to go all the way across Los Leones here. So part of the south side of Levante a little further afield. And Scaz's been identified. So I think he's just keeping an eye on the team, figuring out exactly where he wants to joystick the rest of it into safety.
Stays alive for now. Doesn't get knocked, doesn't give an opening. But we are now looking at a likely Los Leones circle. It's maybe a 40%, right? 30% Los Leones. And Win or Die are set up beautifully here. They can leave the city if they have to. They can play up into the hill if they have to go south. But if it goes into the town, they'll be set up there in some of the highest prio spots. And they'll have information on what's deeper in the city as well. So really good setup for them. Really good setup for Foot Esports in a similar spot as Weewoo still trying to find a way into zone. They haven't really found that all this game. Bridge camped twice with mixed results. Now possibly a road camped or a rotation camped here by Hive. Schengen's coming back, seeing they are being followed. We will once again have to divert.
Feel for them. Yeah, they got away with one bridge camp, not the others. The sirens that give away for Hive, so they turn around. There's obviously an element of unplayable, right? So we have to be careful. We're going from that phase 3 to phase 4 approach now, so there's still a chance it could come very much that south side, but I think expectations are a lot more teams are going to position themselves now with an opportunity to get into loss and try and get in pretty safe. So these skills, they're just holding the outside edge. They've got compounds on the inside, no need for them to move. Maybe just ensure that they encourage, should we say, some of these other teams just to make a further afield. As GZ, well, get the opportunity to use the recall system. Vardy keeps him in his eyesight.
No Vard on foot. But at least we got Vardy. We got Vardy at home, Mark.
Yep.
He's playing for the skills right now. Who are waiting to see if they are blessed. They have some entries into the city if they need them. But they're definitely not in prio spots right now. Considering that they are the Los Leones team, they've really gotten the short end of the stick here. And that's largely because of that very early loss that they took.
Right, not going for wherever's in the crate. Cappy has gone and grabbed it, I think. So Cappy came down from the hillside. So he's there. What has he got? He hasn't. No. So was it a duff one? Or was it a return option? That's a little freaky. That's about it. T-Bone's been sold short.
There you go.
He's got links. There he goes. Put it in the car. There we go. Cheers, observers. I thought I was going to send that one back on a 30-day return plan.
Just, wasn't happy with it. Returned to the sender. Phase 4 comes in. T-Bone sitting right in the middle with 3 of his teammates with a Lynx with 3 gear. Foot are looking happy. You said it last time. They have not ever fallen out of the top 8 in a player cup.
Nope.
And if things go well in this first game, which they should, we might just see a repeat of that. We might just see the consistency strike again.
I say it now because hopefully T-Bone's not watched this point. I feel like they like the best of 4s. Like, I feel like the additional maps, like Overthink. I think one map for them is they just seem to perform consistently across all 4 once a go. And as a result, they find themselves in a top 8. Very well. Let's go for this one though. Take him out. I'm surprised. This one. Timmy's rolling in. Oh, he falls short though. Frenchy falls down. Last one goes. Runs his way. Drops shots and gets him on the stairs.
That's so crucial, Mark. That would have been such a good defense if Never Lost Hope didn't get it here. Oh, he doesn't go for the first aid. He goes for the pre-nade instead. But Gedrox, he doesn't have any rush to get inside his building, so the pre-nade's not going to do anything. Runs around the corner. First aid will come through. Molly to the top. But regardless, the flush has come through. Win or Die has bled numbers here. Even if they trade this out now, this is not the game they would have wanted to play.
No. Other teams can come lurking. Look at Hive. For Esports, potentially even have a look into this one and hope. We get Kirk kill confirms. That's the point on the board for them. Conquest They got a kill as well. Using the angle. Taking opportunity now. Just to get a med back on. Pops the smoke. Makes it difficult now to sort of breach the stairs. They're going to have to kind of go for that exchange. But it's a 50-50 at the top of the stairs. He does have 2 grenades. Just be cautious, obviously, if any more U2 comes in that window. Now, he's going to be sneaky. He's going to use the gas can to his advantage and maybe back himself into a destructible room. It's win or die. They need to start breaching their way in. They've cleared one of the rooms. That gives an opportunity that he could be on the other side as they come up the stairs. Here goes the blue zone nade. It's only one. Be able to get his way through this. Here comes the jammer pack. Season goes through. He's got the backs and packs, but he doesn't get the knockdown. One goes down. He's got to launch the nade, and it goes a jump shot. He falls. It's unfortunate. And the Saints will say no more in 14th place.
Well done by Halamabad. Forcing the issue there, making sure that this can't be delayed any longer. Goes for a jump shot over a folded shield. Not a comfortable situation to be put in. Having to face a folded shield in a blue zone grenade. But sometimes you gotta do the dirty work. And he does it. He does it for the squad. Jimperton? That's my interpretation of that name. But he is no more. Nowhere for him to go. Multiple teams waiting for him. No chance to get anything going.
It's interesting. Obviously, with the update with the zone shifts, right? And Miramar, we've seen it play back down towards the south. We've given up the town. We do have, unfortunately, an argument that there could be people lurking in the belly of the beast. It's Miramar. And we do see the Beerfellas. There is a player in there as well. So there is a key underneath. Beerfellas are trying to hold. 2 boys. There's a quick... Oh, he just got a little bit too greedy. And Fly Effects gave him the punishment for it. Does get the confirmed Conquest coming down. They're down to a 3 now. Have a look here. See, launches the nade. Does get 1. Now he's going to try and maybe launch the nade further down. The beer fellow as well. They might be making beer in the canyon. They've got to crawl their way back to safety.
Surely going out the other way at this point, but this might swing the door open again. Mounty caught as well. Conquest down to just Scramsy for now. On the close range angle he is. That might lead the Beerfellas back this way, but they can always swing the other side if they want to. Love this for Hope though. They were waiting for their time to activate Mark, and once they heard that Conquest was busy, they decided to sweep on over because they just have to. They need a little bit of space. They need something to play here. And this has been their opening.
Yeah, it's really good timing for them. Really good fair party. They read the kill feed well. They had the commotion. Now they've got their bar through. They finish off the fight though. Conquest down to that final player. So Ramsey launches out the nade. There goes the flash. He's backed up slightly, but he's got this ridgeline. Plus he's got that car. He can kind of move his way around, try and create the angles. Unfortunately, without hope there. He open. Initial spray comes through. Just got to get the connection. The smoke's now working against him as he comes right underneath the radar, right next to him. And Cramsey, oh, he dropped the ball. Here fall. 10th place though. Conquest, good hold.
Well done. Storm on a request, however. They've been waiting. They've been waiting in this compound all game. They got one on Skittles earlier. And now they got a team running right through the open. I said there's no space here for Hope, and there still barely is. Hero just trying to crawl around, trying to stay safe, and Kydal can't connect the bullets over the top of the ridge. Might be shooting the dead body here a little bit as well, but Hero, he's got nowhere to go, and time's not on his side either. Gets team flashed for whatever reason that is. I think Navad was hoping to throw a smoke there maybe, but didn't work out that way, and Hands of Hope. I think they almost maximized their points here. This was always going to be really hard to get up that hill, and I was about to say they're in placement points now. They're not under this format.
They're not. Nearly.
But they got 5 kill points, and that's pretty solid.
Yeah. We are not far away from the placement points. Don't forget, we are looking for a 6th place. A couple more teams will fall, though. Hive on the other side, trying to put a stop to the everlasting kill feed that seems to be win or die. Skittles also trying to get involved here. Schengen in the 5-stack. He's outside the zone, so he's got to work his way down. But obviously, with win or die in that northeast corner, they're trying to stop his rotation through. It up. Does finish things off, though. Nabat will fall. Hands of Hope, I think you're right. It was a time, and the time was up. He had nowhere else to go.
Yeah, not really. This is the fight I've been waiting to see for a while now. Because this is the fight of 2 big teams coming from an edge, or coming from an edge of the new circle. It's been in the center for a while, but 2 teams that could win this game if this fight does go well. And two incredibly strong teams are fighting as well. Mogore already on the angle, already ready. T-Bone's got links ready. Scav over the top. Doesn't connect immediately. And he does need to. Because if he sticks around too long, I think it's Mogore who might catch him.
Yeah, he's in such a good spot. Happy just hasn't looked this way just yet. I hear the shots. Now comes the spray. Does get Scav in the middle. So T-Bone, hold out. That's not a bad fall for them. Look, the wide angles are stored there. T-Bone gets a connection. We've got Store standing. Nade comes up. Nade's right on top of Cappy. Oh, it just gets away in time. Now we're seeing the pressure, though, on the outside edge. Great pressure applied by Foot Esports. Now they're gaining back control. But Slam G, they're going to drive their way forward. And it looks like T-Bone's there to stop the charge.
Well done by T-Bone. Bit of third-party shots come in as well. But the Daybuster gets his, which is a thing you'd love to see if you're Foot. A very important anchor player in Mogore out of the question now. Mercel doesn't even have anywhere to go. Has to dip into the shack. Has to become basically inactive for a bit here. And give Foot Esports all the time in the world to res. T-Bone, yeah, he's under pressure now. The second blue zone is going to make him hurt, but might be able to get out in time. But where's he going? What's he doing with this?
Where are you going, T-Bone? What are you doing? Stay alive.
What was that?
It was a miscue. That was unfortunate, and it's been caught. And T-Bone, she's going to get punished for it, though. Cappy, the tryout player, he jumps on the other side. Ace in hand. Love this gun. My favourites at the moment. That's the initial spray. And Haxie, Storm on request. They come sweeping in. They see the opportunity. But no wonder the 4 is underway. 10 kills here for Storm. And looking for more. We're now in the placement points, though. Additional point will actually fall for Slam G. Everyone will go up until we get to first place, which will be in the sheet.
I have a personal request for our observer. I want to see if there was a jammer pack in that car that G1 was jumping in. I wonder if he had a jammer pack there. I guess we have a fight cooking, so maybe we watch that first. But if there was a jammer pack in there, then I understand what he was doing. But there's nothing. Okay, he just fumbled. Okay, good. That's good to see. That's good to know. I have no idea what he was doing then. We'll never find out, but the fight's kicking off.
They're going to try and hold it here. Cappy, though, swings out on one. He goes down, though. He has to try and hold out. It's 2 versus 1, though. Here comes a blue zone nade. G2 launches not just a blue zone, but follows it with that mono. Damage could potentially be done, though. He has to work his way around, but he's in front of it, though. Has to just stay just on the outside. More damage that he wants to, but he uses the blue zone, and the Storm is blown aside. 4th place for them. Fuji Sports, though, down to a 2, trying to get that res back on, but win or die in somehow, some way with a BRDM. Storm driving forward. Now looking to try flat foot run. Oh, just gets away with it.
Oh, he's so helpless here, Mark. He's so helpless. We see the HP that he's working with as well. It's not looking good for him at all. He's trying to hug the car, maybe not getting run over, but man, what do you do? Just helpless.
We've got
helpless.
A med off, though.
Panicked.
We've got a med off.
Yeah, sure. That's great. That helps him. Helps him a ton.
You gotta love it. Meme Central to be RDMs. Absolutely love it. Now, I win or die thinking that there is someone in the belly of the beast. Actually, say that. North now. Now they're going to try and get... No, the MG mark is going to finish it off, though. Game 1, it's a win or die. It's 12 kills, 22 points, and win or die. Well, they steal the show. All of the damage, the assist, but they were in a lot of action for a lot of time. And actually, one of the early positions where they moved in from that south side of Los Leones on the southwest, they positioned themselves quite early across towards that southeast because they were eager to take the fight from the north.
Yeah, well done. The crucial point was when they got crashed there and 2 of them got knocked, but they did end up clearing it and they did end up getting 3 back alive, right? That was massive for win or die. And then Foot not staying clean in that Slam G fight is not even a surprise to me because that was a hard fight against a strong team. The way it went down was a big question mark for me. I'm not sure what went on there, if some buttons got smashed that shouldn't have, or yeah, like you said, maybe T-Bone's a little jet lagged still. Can't fault him for that. It's a crazy transition. Going halfway across the world and coming back. Yeah, this was the crazy moment, right? This is one of the flushes coming out. Levante, the big dog down. And then if Never Lost Hope gets another one there, if he doesn't get jump shot by Hello My Bad, Win or Die's game might be over. But this way they can reward themselves with a massive win.
And it was reaction speed, right? He comes around the corner and you don't expect to see the shield, but instant jump, instant confirm, which is really good. And then it was all win or die at that point. So good play from Storm on the Quest, obviously working their way in. They got a 4th place, but that transition coming on that third party between Foot Esports and SlamG was really strong for them as well. So I want to give them big kudos because they actually exited this with huge amounts of kills. So good play from them. Early aggression for some of the teams, but however, there are household names. What else do we expect?
For sure. I think we always see them pop off when it matters, and we see it here. I think I was hoping for a Foot Win or Die sort of clash, but then there was just too many third parties going on. Storm and Request doing a massive job on that hill as well, right? They were coming in, sweeping in, but making sure they get some of the kills as well, making sure they don't just get swept aside. So maximizing points on the south side of Los Leones there. And then we see the same stuff we've been seeing the last few months, that early aggression and that early sneakiness, right? We see Skills lose one. We see the double bridge camp working both ways for Weewoo. So that meta is still in effect, and I think it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Well, the guys were making hay while the sun shined in the fields of Miramar, but when whoever claimed the mountain is, we'll die at the end. We're going to take a quick break, though. When we come back, though, it'll be time to take go. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys in a few.
Have you ever imagined creating your own PUBG game mode? Well, now with UGC Alpha, that imagination becomes real. All Plus users can create UGC Alpha sessions. Getting started is simple. Just go to Custom Match, UGC Alpha tab, then create your own session or join a friend's. By default, only the host can edit the mode, but editing permission can be granted to participants through settings. With UGC Alpha, you can place props, build custom maps, and set your own game rules. Anyone can join and play, up to 100 players per session. Want a simple but challenging parkour mode? Or maybe a chaotic deathmatch? You make the rules. You can save your creations anytime, or load them up later to keep building, even if it's not your mode. If you find a fun session while playing, just hit Save As and keep a copy for yourself. Need a head start? Try one of the official sample modes provided in-game. In the next video, we'll dive into object placement, movement controls, and how to bring your map to life. You can use the standard WASD keys to walk around. Double-tap the spacebar to switch to flying mode. Tap C to descend and space again to go up. Hit B to enter build mode. Now you can start placing props and devices anywhere on the map. To open the full editor, press P to launch the Edit Manager. Here, you'll see all available props, from walls and stairs to full buildings. Click any object, then press 0 to 9 to assign it to a quick slot. You can now press that key to place the object instantly. Need to fine-tune? Use E and R to rotate or scale. Use F and G to adjust distance. Press X to lock to axes, and Y to ignore collision. Want to test gravity? Just hit T to toggle gravity on your object. You can also copy, delete, or multi-select with simple mouse clicks and hotkeys. Next up, we'll show you how to set the rules of your game. Rounds, respawns, teams, you control it all.
Week 1, day 1, game 1, done and dusted though. 3 more still up for grabs, and it felt like a bit of a clash of the titans. The household names of TPP duking it out at the very, very end. You wanted the Win or Die Foot Esports. I wanted the SlamG Foot Esports, but as it ended, Win or Die claimed out. Beyond the M made a late appearance. Didn't really see too much of it early on, but it did have an impact when it came down to the end of it.
Absolutely. I mean, there was no chance for Bidet Buster to do anything there. He tried his very best, but Bidet can be busted. A BRDM a whole lot harder, and he doesn't pull that off. Doesn't have a Panzerfaust in the car or anything like that. So Win or Die walk away with it, clean it up in the end. A valid attempt for that second place, right? Solid placements for, I think that was the Beer Fellas, and sneaking out of that cave brings them a whole bunch of points. But in the end, it's the big dogs. It's Win or Die who walk away with it and put themselves in a great position to continue on in the day.
Talk about position. Let's keep on Foot Esports though, because Foot Esports had the area for quite some time. They were one of the teams that were very much in the east. Everyone played into the southwest. I'm surprised so many teams were able to work their way around. Big shifts back their way. They found themselves pretty much in the center, but uncontended until late game. Not a lot of teams pushing for the higher ground early.
Yeah, it's the weird thing about that hill is it feels like you can go up from all sides, but if a team is already up there, you're just going to get blasted when you're driving up. So Sometimes it's very contested because everybody wants to get up there, and then sometimes nobody dares to because the risk is pretty high. So they sit there for a long time, and then in the late game, it gets really, really hard because we see what exactly happened, right? SlamG comes up from one side, they start pressuring, someone request gets interested from the other side. If the timing works out differently, Win or Die could have also just been fourth partying it, and it gets really, really hard to be on top of that hill. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword. It's a crazy good position early game, but you have to find the timing to get yourself on an edge, and that proved difficult for Foot Esports.
It's crazy timing. It's not crazy timing, it's time to Tago. With a northeast down towards the southwest. Let's go through the heart, the soul that is this map. Let's come away slightly from that northwest corner, but doesn't mean we're not going to get it though. I don't see major congestion on this map. I think Terminal will be a early watch point. Teams will sort of drop in and around, but expect some of these teams to extend a bit further, get those cars and go to those prize loot spots early.
Absolutely. However, not a lot of contention. A little bit of contention around Terminal. The Skittles are back in full numbers. And the second they are back to 4, they decide that they are going for a hot drop. I don't fancy their shoots, though. I feel like they've been outdone a little bit here. Hadouken with the VSS. He's got to clear this, and there's a Panzerfaust the other way. It ain't looking that great.
Yeah, not looking great. And the thing is, he can't even hold the angle. He needs to 1 reload, but 2 med at some point as well. Let's go down. Mari works way up and find it into a position, but no, gets caught on the off angle. Checked it off. 1 second later, though, it has been filled. And now the danger. There goes the second one as well. Hadouken will fall, and the Skittles might be up to 4, but their numbers are falling quickly.
It's one way to not play a game is 4. Vardy easily picks that one up. Moving SMG. Limp modifier. No hipfire penalty. Couldn't have been a better situation for him. Sloy, no vest still. Scrambling for 1. But Vardy's lost one of the peak battles here. He's taking a lot of damage. And now he's going to be careful because he is getting cleared. Zero swag on me from the long angle. Doesn't even need to activate. There's
activating here.
He's got it. And slows down to a solo.
It's difficult as well because Skittles, when they play tight as a team, they're really good. It felt like individual battles. And geez, that boys, they knew when to stack up, when to put the numbers together and make their push. And as a result, found themselves clear. 3 kills up. And now Zloy has to say goodbye and please do not destroy my chips. I'll be back in a little while.
There's actually a real chance that the chips don't get destroyed here because he took one of the cars. And there's not that many cars in Terminal and around it. But they might bring them for a bit, and then once they find a car that doesn't have too much HP, maybe they do blow it up. How much do they care, though, is an interesting question. Win or Die has walked up. A classic Win or Die. I feel like you don't want to even be looting next to them. Hot dropping next to them is a recipe for disaster.
And it's always Buxan as well. This is very common. Like, if you drop Buxan and Win or Die in the lobby, be ready for them to push you because this is not the first time we have seen that. They're going to be coming in on the third party. The Saints are here. Well, he goes over towards the top mindset, though. Looking for that peak, waiting. AA to show the body first, but not going to be the case just yet. But he does get caught slightly with that. And so needs to be careful. But look at this. You can see on that mini map, the Leo's now working his way in. It's going to be the third party. He now knows his body's over here as well. So that's lots of information that he's gained. Does he pick the right fight? Does he get the easy knock and DK and transition over? We'll have to wait and see.
He plays his card right, he waits for the knock and then knocks the knocker and gets himself both frags. But no, he activates early and he doesn't instantly convert. Doesn't matter though. DK steals the kill away. And just like that, he's getting one of the points, but he is staying alive. That's probably the more important thing. But he would have loved to take both kills here, Mark.
I think Buxton's such a good square. He's got that recall, hasn't it? Anyway, Saints will fall. The drop shot. Oh, I didn't do it justice.
Again.
That was insane. Nade went out. I thought he was utterly dead to rights, but he got away with it, though. Now, win or die, they look to collapse their way in. Nate comes over the top, bounces around, actually takes a nice bounce towards the players here. Levante's further down on the south now, trying to gain the information, gather the intel where the players are, can hear the footsteps. Now sees the players, he runs, trying to get to safety. He gets caught, but it's not enough.
Absolute mess for everybody involved. Win or die staying clean for now. They gotta be careful to not overstep, to not over-aggress. It's very easy to trip in these situations when you're pushing with force, with speed. Never lost hope, has lost hope, as he so often does. He's getting out of there, he's leaving his teammate to die, and he's hoping to get reses later on, but that's the win or die we know. That's the aggression we know. Double through the molly, no problem at all. Run him down.
No, it's my kill. It's my kill. No, I'm going to kill him. I'm just going to run through fire. This is insane. Thank you for the replay. It was a Nate up at this point, absolutely dead. Initial shots, but he gets away with a drop shot. That is remarkable. Reinforcements did come in. It was Frenchie that did get the kill, but he got away with it. GG's.
Well done. Drop shot's such a tool, such an asset to be ready for it, right? That's mainly it. You got to be mentally ready to hit your crouch and then your prone button. For the viewers who are unaware, you prone fast, or you don't prone faster, but you get accurate faster if you crouch before proning. That's what makes these drop shots feel so much better than the drop shots you're trying to attempt if you don't have that technique down. But you got to be mentally ready for it. You got to be ready to just drop on your belly mid-fight. That's something that's hard for us boomers to do. I know me and you are not drop shotting a whole lot in our ranked games. But the young crack kids, they got that down.
Yeah, no. I'm actually drop shot. It take me a game later before it arrives. My mind might have it, but my old man fingers. It'll take me a game. I'll be in game number 4 before it drop shots. We're back to the rotation now. Fruit Sports though, who do land in Yongchung. They have positioned themselves now towards that north side. Now coming towards the recall. Storm requester here. They're going to need that recall center. He does jump, get shot, and so the body falls into the compound. Storm request won't be able to get the flush just yet. They're going to be cautious. They are cautious about moving around towards more the other side of this compound and wary. There could be other teams because I love the trees in this side of the map. They're very deceiving. You think you're safe. One step in the wrong direction and you get fully exposed.
That's so treacherous. It's tricky in first person where nobody can be hiding behind a tree while seeing you, but in third person it gets even harder to navigate. And you can see that for T-Bone right now. He'd love to go for that res, and we know that he could, but he doesn't have the info because there's so many spots you could be sitting behind. Now Slack Cappy comes in. He's got to just surrender the car here in exchange for the res. T-Bone gets the blue chip res, and Foot are going to be back up to 4 in a matter of seconds here.
Yep. Good position as well. Got some loot. We're taking a look out the observers, don't worry. And Tate, I said, can't quite see exactly. Nose can hear, but can't quite get involved. Interesting zone with the river splitting, dividing, and conquer. I like where Cramsey sits, kind of on that pinnacle point on that south side. See if the pinnacle point can come from the nade. Nope, falls a little bit short here. Come on. Careful, the second nade's really good, and he gets it as well. Boostic though, he was finding the distance in the first one, connects to perfection with the second Kobe.
It's just an all-rounder at this point. It's not just a shooter. It's an absolute soldier. Arctic's got to get the hell out of dodge. He might just do so, but one bullet connecting would be the end of him. And it is win or die shooting at him, so you always got to be careful. Now Marcel, I'm not so happy. I'm not so sure about. He lives for now, but not for long. Gedrush was there for the pull-up as well. Just like that, Slam G. They lose one, and Arctic has been knocked. Didn't make it here. So Slam G is bleeding.
Yeah, no good game from them. So win or die. He must stop. Where is he? He's here somewhere. I feel like this map, I feel like Tago for win or die has become that kind of level of aggression we always see. That back-sound push is always happening. As I said, if you're a team that's dropping there and you know win or die are going to be close, just be ready for that third party or if that initial crash, because they have done it early. Even if there's solo teams in there, they go aggressive in there because I think it's got that recall system. They have the advantage. If they lose a body, they can get it res quite quickly.
Levante on the pull-up, and he's going to get himself a frag here. He's going to swing around the side, and he's going to connect almost every time. Yep. As always. That man is... If I was a player, I'd have nightmares with that guy in it. I feel like he just never misses. I feel like he just never does miss. Sloy walked through here, and Observer is looking for the dead bodies to check if there's blue chips. Check on the stairs. There should be one there. Can we check the inventory of a dead person? No, we can't.
No, you can't. It needs it.
But you know, I have one massive trick. You go to Sloy and you press tab for his inventory. No, it doesn't work. Never mind. I should be trolling Observers. Never mind.
They're gonna leave us alone. Then what are we gonna have to do?
Yeah, they're gonna start bullying us back. They have more tools than we do. You know, they can just stop showing all the action or something.
Yeah,
So
yeah. We got to cast from here. Woo woo. Salik's been confirmed. We can still go. We got a kill feed.
Yeah, casting off the kill feed is like the 2017 PUBG experience.
Take it. Hey. I'm down one. Zone shifts away, so we do commit towards that northern island, northwest piece. Again, I do like where Crown Zero is sitting. There's kind of a gatehouse for these teams rotating on the south side, but so many teams sit on the outside edge, still fighting, still in the blue, or potentially going to have to rotate their way into the blue here. So early rotation for teams like Esports, like we saw from Hive, like we saw from Storm on Request. So expect them to be yet again in a late game. I do like how he sits this bridge. If timed correctly, I think they're really going to stop anyone's rotation if late coming in the south side.
Yeah, and then again, they have the cross confirmed for themselves already, right? So gonna be in for a good time there. Respawn plane comes in. Plenty of players in there. Sloy still hanging around, sitting pretty. Not sure if he was unable to find the chips or if he wanted to wait one more zone. I think he just wasn't able to find the chips. I don't really see a reason for why he wouldn't have rezzed if that wasn't the case.
I wonder if that car in the north was there, and that's what they've taken the chips with, and or exploded the chips with.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at this point, because just by process of elimination, he would be rezzing right now otherwise.
Yeah.
So they must have gotten their hands on the chip. Salik jumping out of that plane, by the way. We see him floating across the island right now, essentially scouting that entire forest for his team from the air. Is such a massive tool as well. It's pretty underrated to use your respawns players as information. But it can work out massively here.
Have you seen him?
I'm sure they've seen each other now, and I think the fellas were here to hunt. Hoping for players without guns, but just a little bit of looting was enough for TIA to get themselves in a defensible state.
I think you saw the return player coming back and thinking it'd be an opportunity to kind of punish.
Yeah.
Back to Sadiq though, yeah, you're 100% right. The ability that he's kind of jumped from that recall helicopter and he's gone the whole way across the map on that north side, and the team's coming in at northwest. That's huge for them. He's gained so much information of where like Storm and Request are hiding, potentially where we were coming in as well. So if he has picked up that information, that could be game changing for this team, especially if they're looking to play the edge. But now look at this south approach though. Zero. He's got zero opportunity. He needs to get out quite quickly. Here comes Conquest. Krams, he's been here for a while. He's been looking for the kill, and it's the first one.
Yep. Everything you were waiting for is materializing now. Alpaca, he knows the game's up, but he's so outnumbered at this point. Milkiria comes in, closes out one angle. They can wait for Crumsy as well if they want to. Make this a 3v1. Not take any unnecessary risks, and I think they should, but I'm not sure what Mounty is doing now, opening up a wide angle. Maybe expecting more opposition here than there really is. I'd love if they just grouped up as 3 and cleared out the compound.
Okay, sending one body in gives an opportunity. Not a bad time grenade, but not going to get the connection that they want. Trying to force him maybe out that other side. That's where Mounty wanted to go, and see, we've only 2 ways out. One of them has already been covered. The second one. Not on left. And the guys are now closing in. Sees the elbow, has the cover. And they've got to exchange. They're going to stack the bodies up. Swaps towards the org though. Here comes the charge come through. Sees one. 2 for 2. And that hold. He was there early, but it pays off.
Well done. Well done on the group up. They get it done in the end. Would have loved to see the nades come out from Alpaca. He had 5 of them. Just lob him out, at least to get some pressure off, right? For the off chance of somebody stepping on one. The first nade, you're rarely going to catch anyone, but once they are deafened from that first nade, it becomes much more likely that somebody just steps on one and doesn't realize. And especially with the blue zone coming in, slowing them down, doing a little bit of... just a little bit of prodding damage. Poking damage towards them. Not a bad shout most of the time. Coming over the bridge is TAA. And waiting is Storm on request. And Scissor has a massive angle here, Mark.
Yeah, he does. He's seen the bodies now. Multiple. As the car rotating over. Storm and request are split. You got to remember, they're split on the other side of this. So this could be punishing for them. They're right in the middle. Just not waiting. We're waiting for the rest of the team now as they get themselves into position. They have picked up the car as well. But on the south side, though, we have a Lloyd caught now on the bridge, the final player. Zenti, long distance shots, though, on Jedrox. Again, be careful. Much pressure they apply, but unfortunately for Skittles, I can't see an exit point here. The rainbow is not going to help. And Zloy is living on borrowed time as we speak.
In the hands of Levante. Sloyer's got a dodge, but he doesn't know that it's even a thing. 45 damage brings him down to 1. Levante with the second nade. Surely that underhand is a little too short. Maybe he thinks the player dipped into the smoke, but he's got more where that came from. He can land more of them. And there it is. The Terminator strikes again. Another point for win or die. When you're watching them, when they work, you just wonder...
Insane.
You don't wonder why it works. You wonder why they're not winning everything.
Yeah, we spoke about this before, didn't we? Like that year before, last year, beginning there, they were just PC. I was like, these guys are going to hit, they're going to do really well, and they were so close, a couple of points, and they fell. And it was since that loss, they just couldn't recover that year. This year, they've come back, now looking to try and recover. Scav recovers with a peak, though. It's TAA down. They were in the eyes of Storm on request. They worked their way out the eye of the Storm, now into the hands of Foot Esports. Looking to try and get the confirmation, but now Frenchie under pressure, and there we go. There's that first knock from Storm and Request. So now they know they're fighting multiple teams. Esports need to get that confirmation on the board.
Back to 4 is Foot, so that's big. That's important. Successful res, now successful loot face. The 4th player as well. Cappy out there, hunted a bit, looking for blood. And might catch Sunflower coming his way here in a bit. I think he exposed himself with the jump, but Sunflower, he must have been looking elsewhere. Didn't see that. Pixel coming over the top. And that's enough for them to go out. That's enough for Foot to put themselves in a good spot to hold that eastern side. Tiny little game crash for the Observer. No big deal there. Gonna hit some replays. Love to see that. Production's kind of owning on the replays today, Mark.
Yeah.
And just like that, we're on the map.
And then we're back. With all the action coming through. So we wait for that to get back in though. And this is always going to happen. The zone shifts down towards the south. Unfortunately for AAA, they get caught in the middle here. Beerfellas who take the boat rotate in towards the north. Hive were there already. We were coming in quite late as well. So Hive now find themselves the sandwich, but they're sharing that sandwich filler because it's a double stack with Weewoo. Because when I die, they see the opportunity now to try and apply pressure on that north side. On the south side, look at that as well. Storm Request also getting involved.
Popping off on all fronts. As we're bleeding members, bleeding numbers. TMR shots are landing from everybody, Mark. But Storm and Request, they could have fought for the forest. They didn't want to. They want to get involved with Foot. And they've just put themselves in an absolute blender here between the Conquest players.
Yep. It's difficult. This is difficult. This is all about timing, right? This is rotation time. These guys obviously rotating their way around. They're taking opportunities. As you said, when Win or Die are on form, they are on point, and that's part and parcel of that rotation. They know the action was happening in front of them. They want to rotate their way around. They're expecting the zone to shift back their way as well. So they find themselves now up to 10 kills. They're going to have to get the res on. We'll have to wait and see. On Quest, I feel like we're the last players. Lurking. T-Bone gets one. Kado's going to get a lot of information from that. He just now needs to figure out how he works the angles. Unfortunately for him, it's so open terrain.
Yeah. And he's lacking information, like you said. He's getting a little bit, but he still doesn't know where Macario is. Gets one of the reses now. Has a lot of time for the second res, but the question is, what do they do after that, right? Where did they go? What's the game plan here? They got to win this fight first. And then probably just be happy with their game, because any send they make at that point is going to be met with a lot of aggression. T-Bone. Get in the res. Buys them a little bit of time, though. A little bit of a reprieve for the teams in the south.
Yeah, he does get knocked. So they have a bit of time to sort of move around. Macario will be there. It's not got a huge amount of ammo. The sevens, nade's good. Just goes past. It's going to find the cover. They have got the reses back on as well. Surprised they're not popped the smoke. That nade's great, though. Storm on request, though. And they send a Hail Mary, and the Conquest unable to hold the line.
Voltage Shield comes in clutch there, saves his life entirely. Beautiful nades from someone request, but now Monty can go for the peek around the smoke. Oh, he's reloading the smoke launcher as he spots them. Wants to go for the re-smoke, but he's got to activate. He's got to find this, especially the FAMAS. You want to take it down. He has support from the top. There's plenty of damage coming into these summon request players already, and you can see they're just one shot away from dying. And it's all going to be Foot picking them up. The bullets are raining in, and Kado... Has he made it? He's down low.
He's made it.
He's made it in. He lives, but for how long, Mark? He's not even in the circle just yet, and 3 Foot members just staring him down.
We find ourselves again, though, with Foot Esports in zone, like holding a good area. So they've obviously gone back their way. They find themselves now on the outside edge, and they're controlling. Cappy's holding that north. The rest of these guys sure they can clear any sort of free kills, I say, coming out that sort of south side. Hive, on the other hand, though, they're now trying to hold out the Win or Die push. Maybe Levante's taken one step too many, and he gets punished, though, from the blue zone. Hive maybe just don't know. They've just not looked that way. They've not been able to pick up that free kill. It's lurking out in the field, not too far away.
Love to see that again. He had 12 first aids left. He must have fumbled one, but I think he thought that first aid had come through. That's why he started running, but he just started running a tad too early. Canceling the first aid. That doesn't only cost them the player, that costs them the successful backstab. They could be playing for the win here in Hive's position. Now they've got to sit themselves in the middle, which significantly hampers their chances. And there's the knocks coming in, there's the pressure coming in from all sides now. This might, literally, that first aid might have just ruined the game for Win or Die.
Yeah. This time, maybe he saw Presenti, or you can maybe get the knock, but let's see. Breeze, GZ's the way in. This is his first aid before he has to make a Hail Mary run. I think the 6 bandages are going to keep him alive. Keep going, run! Should be able to make it in. He just about gets there in time. Now he can use the bandages behind the safety of the wall, but time's not running out. He's got to get moving again.
And what Levante couldn't do is what Akaman is pulling off right now. If he catches the res here, which he has a reasonable chance of doing, could get himself the double at least. I think he'd take that any day of the week, but easier said than done. He's got to connect the shots right there and then. Oh, and he connects the headshot. He gets the knock. Hibako will stay in the car, however. That's not a kill. That's going to go his way. Oh, and that's a crazy headshot through the tree, but 1 point for Akaman here. Solid. If you add the placement point on top, but would have loved to get a little more.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can forget he would have been in the placement points as well, so there's an additional point now. Jidrox, though, trying to use the car as a force of weapon, but you don't need to when you've got an AUG in hand. Up to 12 kills now. I'm trying to hold a position, a car fortification on the outside edge. So Esports will be behind him, maybe in front. You're on the top 4. Those who don't know, why is it a little bit of quiet? This is Super Rule Set V 2.1, 2.2 maybe now. You still get 10 points now for first, but 5 for second, and he works his way down until 6th place. So 6th place is the entry point now for placement points, where you find yourself with 1. So you got an additional kill, but more importantly, an additional point for placement.
Foot want to clear that southern side. Themselves just a little more space, just an extra kill, but I say just. It's not that easy. Nice pre-nades coming out. Nice counter-aggression from Gedrox. He's got more where that came from. If he lands one onto T-Bone, it'd be an absolute disaster for Foot. But he has landed the flush already. That's already terrible. T-Bone gets one back. Man, the util keeps impressing, Mark.
It was just a pure dump at that time, wasn't it? We spoke about players before going down with grenades in their back pocket, right? We're in the top 3. Fruity Sports though with 3. Hive with 3. Aybat with the Hands of Hope. Has the Hands of Hope to try and take on T-Bone. Let's launch a molly into the mix of the car fortification, the junkyards, and that will provide safety. Have a look over the top. Hive on the other hand, though, not quite in position. Cappy for Footy Sports, though, has been in a prime position for them for quite some time, as he's been keeping an eye on that north. He's been doing his job well. I think the rest of the guys, they go to work to a degree on the south. They need to underpin the solo player from Hands of Hope, because, you know, a solo player can do a hell of a lot of damage.
And it's the blue zone who gets the frag. It's all the damage coming in from Pazenti, but it's the blue zone who gets the frag. And T-Bone knows now. Okay, should have cleared that. 14 frags is absolutely insane for Foot. Easily first in the standings after this game, even if they don't win it out here. But they have really solid chances to still do that.
It's quite that consistency. I do take the mick out of T-Bone, because he loves TVP. He's on 7 kills. He's doing well. Going to rotate, use the train to his advantage, knowing that there's been shots from that Dragonov cover from the south. He's going to try and find him, but this is an open run now. He's definitely seen him, but T-Bone gets the better 3 times AUG at distance. Pazenti falls, and now the floodgates open for Footy Sports.
I love it. That is absolute big man energy from T-Bone right there. He knows he has to make a play. He knows the play is risky as well, but he's got to do it. And it doesn't work. He gets spotted in the open, but he just dogs him anyways. Massive stuff from the IGL of Foot Esports there. Just takes the game into his own hands, brings it home almost immediately. Cappy is there for the support. And just like that, a rough 3v3 becomes a 3v1. And you can see Rox there. He was already going for the blue. He's already thinking about it.
So what, do you know what? I've got a lot of love for Cappy. The instant reaction from him just to provide that support. Understanding that T-Bone was exposed, he was already in that transition. He's lucky enough T-Bone does get the knocks. He has the big cojones to be able to get that knocked over the 3 times and the AUG. But the speed at which this kid plays is just insane. Rox, though, 4 kills on the board, though. He's down to 4. I think he might cook this and say good night. He doesn't want to give any more, and rightfully so. He's doing the right thing. It is a best of 8. We've already seen map 1, map 2 done. It's Foot Esports, 16 kills. A 26-point game is huge from that team, and got to give them a little bit of credit where credit is due. They got the zones, but they played it well, and they were able to find those kills.
And there's a good reason why they were top 3, top 4 in both of these games, right? There's a good reason that they get into these late games. Very cleanly done, very well reset when they lost a player earlier, and very well handled there in the late game, even in the mid game. Pushing Storm and Request away made the game easier for them, but they activate on Hands of Hope, and then T-Bone, just massive stuff from him. I wonder how the comms were in that late game. I wonder if T-Bone had already communicated what he was doing and basically said, you guys have to come to me. We have to kill this guy on me, otherwise our game's over. Maybe that's why Cappy was so fast. Maybe even more credit is due to T-Bone there. But whatever it was, that 3x AUG spray wins them the game. So very, 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 very impressive from the jet-lagged IGL.
He's been chilling. He loves this. He just loves TPP. That's what we're going to tell him. Out of him. Right, here comes the knocks time, and it was explosive action. It could have gone the other way for Esports, though, but they do deliver game number 2 with a huge amount of kills, and it was impressive. The IGL T-Bone leading the charge, but we're going to lead the charge, though, for a quick break. When we come back, it'll be match number 3, and it'll be out your condo. We're going to be in Rondo.
Let's dive into the rule setting. Press P to open the Edit Manager, then switch to the Rule Set tab. Here, you can fully customize your game logic, set the number of rounds, choose a score limit or time limit to end each round. Define how many teams play, anywhere from 2 to 100. Set team size, 1 to 10 players per team. Enable or disable respawn, and set its cooldown timer. Add invincibility after respawn for smoother gameplay. By enabling fill test players, you can spawn dummy bots to test whether your custom mode is functioning properly. If you'd like to play a solo game instead of a team match, simply adjust the team count and team size settings in the rule setting menu. For example, if you want a 100-player free-for-all solo match, set team count to 100 and team size to 1. Next up, we'll introduce the devices.
A collaboration with ESPA, and some changes to vehicle camo netting. All this and more as we dive into the update 36.2 patch report. First up, Miramar's getting a visit from the K-pop group ESPA. All across the Badlands, you'll find concert venues, decor, and other visuals based on the group. Many other maps have ESPA visuals, such as themed care packages and planes as well. There's also an emote stage on the starting island of every 8x8 map, for you to perform some of their most iconic tracks, including their latest hit. Next up, vehicle camo netting is seeing a durability improvement and is being added to Rondo and Tago this update as well. The improved durability only applies to bullet damage, and there are still some conditions in which the netting is instantly destroyed, so check out the patch notes for full details. The clan system is also getting some love. There are new ways to show off your achievements, including a new weekly ranking page, along with new clan tag plates. Full details in the patch notes. There's also a new Survivor Pass. Regions with duo mode can now choose one-man duo in normal and ranked. And we've tackled some bugs, so be sure to check out the patch notes for details on everything. Update 36.2 is here, so park the car in a safe spot and get ready to rock out with ESPA. We'll see you on the battlegrounds.
Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. This year, we're introducing structured competitive play in third-person perspective mode for players of all ranks, levels, and ability. Here's how it works in EMEA and Americas. PUBG Players Tour competition is held in 2-week phases. Each week, you and your squad can compete in player scrims. Think of these as a great alternative to ranked play. Each day of scrims will feature a variety of maps, with defined team and lobby sizes to ensure a balanced best-of-3 rounds. Teams will earn points based on their performance, and daily leaderboards will track their progress. When the scrims are over, the top teams will qualify for the PUBG Players Tour Cups, where they will be joined by up to 10 invited teams, featuring some of the best players in the region. Players' Cup leaderboards will track team performances across 2 days of play, with the top 8 squads progressing to the final round of competition. Players Masters are the pinnacle of the PUBG Players Tournament. 8 teams from each of the 2 cups will engage in fierce competition for a huge prize pool in each region across the PUBG Players Tour season. And for times when a Players Masters isn't scheduled, you can still get your PUBG Players Tour fix with Super Cups. These work just like Masters events, where again, 16 teams, 8 from each of the 2 previous Players Cups, compete for a share of the total cash prize pool. Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. You know the game. Be a player.
Have you ever imagined creating your own PUBG game mode? Well, now with UGC Alpha, that imagination becomes real. All Plus users can create UGC Alpha sessions. Getting started is simple. Just go to Custom Match, UGC Alpha tab, then create your own session or join a friend's. By default, only the host can edit the mode, but editing permission can be granted to participants through settings. With UGC Alpha, you can place props, build custom maps, and set your own game rules. Anyone can join and play, up to 100 players per session. Want a simple but challenging parkour mode? Or maybe a chaotic deathmatch? You make the rules. You can save your creations anytime, or load them up later to keep building, even if it's not your mode. If you find a fun session while playing, just hit Save As and keep a copy for yourself. Need a head start? Try one of the official sample modes provided in-game. In the next video, we'll dive into object placement, movement controls, and how to bring your map to life.
Welcome back though. 2 games done, 2 more games to go before we can see halfway points though. This player cup, who will be on top and driving our way towards the top 8. But come on, we need to have a look at the numbers though. What are the scores on the doors though? And no surprise for Esports though, are driving their way up. But win or die, they're still holding on with 38 points.
Yeah, my maths were terrible apparently. I said they would be first even if they don't win. And they did win. But they do still end up in second. That deny from Hive does actually cost them the lead here. So that 1 point that they're missing now, they're not going to worry too much about the missing point though. They're going to see that they're on 37 points right now after 2 games, which kind of means they are looking at qualification already. And I would already be surprised if any of those 2 teams isn't already qualified after the day mark.
Yeah, that is a strong argument to be making. Maybe 1 more game down and that's them done, dusted. Still my request, I think, the rotation wise and how they're attacking this lobby. I know they've not got the placement points, but the kills are showing that actually they should be a team maybe contending definitely for a top 8. And if they have a good game here, they might be in that argument maybe after game number 4 that they'll be locking their slot in. But after that, realistically, with these kind of 2-3 teams taken up with so many points, Kobo, the rest of the lobby is still up for grabs. And with the kind of the new point format, going back to 10 points for a win, maybe one of these other teams just need to get a win and a handful of points to kind of put them back in the mix for a top 8.
Absolutely. A team like Greece, who's gotten 7 points in the last 2 games, they would feel terrible about themselves, but because the top has so much already, they're looking at an 8th place right now. They're looking at qualification right now. And yeah, like you said, literally any team on the leaderboard win a game, they are immediately in that top 8. So it's always going to stay close. We are looking at only 8 games. We'll always go down to the last game to decide who qualifies. But right now, that leaderboard, yes, it's not close first and second, but everybody else is in arm's length.
Well, everyone's at arm's length, and we're in arm's length, though, of match number 3, not 2, as the playing path comes in from a west up towards a northeast. Does favour a little bit more towards that north side, but it does go past Test Track and Linux Factory as well. So again, we've seen a lot of early action. We've seen a lot of early action with teams actually starting to land around the outside of that area and then sort of push their way in, try and take the third party. The other side of things, though, Koa, a lot of these teams starting to jump for the gliders. A lot more teams going early or late to try and find the outside edge and get those hard spawn gliders because they've been really key as understanding actually the information gained from them is critical.
For sure. I've been preaching that ever since we saw Brex pick it up, a Doozy pick it up. We had some glider show-offs with exactly those 2 on Rondo. I remember one of the first aerial warfare moments I've ever seen. Plenty of players have adopted the playstyle, have realized it's absolutely massive tool to have. And when you know where they're going to spawn, You're gonna not only get more glider usage, you're also gonna see a little bit more drop spots spaced around them. Maybe even some early game strats to try and counter them, to try and get glider pilots out early. Pretty Team Chick. Landed in a compound with an opponent. Got the JS9 early, got himself the vest now. Good arsenal for a push.
Yeah, he just needs to get closer, right? He's going to burn that back pretty quickly. Oh my god, also it's unfortunately unable. Quite finding the M4. Doesn't find the vest or the helmet. Gets slightly PUBG there. Doesn't make the step outside the door. Reinforcements are arriving and doesn't quite get the sound cues. The DK just rolled in. Unfortunately, Pretty will be rolling out. So, mid, and it goes up towards that north side, though. Ram is in. Would you like to see the gliders across all the maps, Karo, and hard spawned in?
Oh, that's a hard question.
Good question, though.
It's obviously it's one of your questions, so it's always going to be a good one.
Thanks, man.
I'm not sure. I think it keeps Rondo unique in a way, right? And I do like maps having a bit of an identity, and I think it adds to that identity a little bit. But on the other hand, I love the glider, and I think it's a really cool tool, especially because it equalizes the center drop spot a bit, right? So we've seen when this map came out, we've seen Na'Vi, Twisted Minds, 17, all those teams that are world-class go for Test Track and Factory because they realize, okay, that's the spot to be. It's going to give you lots of rotations. There's going to be lots of circles around there. And the gliders are not there because it's middle of the map. That's unfortunate for someone request, but I got a mountain bike. All I'm saying is gliders do equalize center loot spots a little bit. And I love that part because I think center loot spots are very strong. There's a reasons why top teams throw entire tournaments to try and keep their loot spots. There's a reason why a lot of the top teams do play from center loot spots. So I love the gliders turning that around a bit. Does it have to come to all maps? I'm not sure because I think it's very dominant. Like, once you have a glider secured, that is a big part of your game plan. That is a massive part of how you're going to approach that game. I've even talked to pro players who are practicing shooting gliders now because you do have to hit your shots every now and then to send that glider off, to pressure that glider off, because if he gets to fly over you, if he gets to scout your entire team, that's usually very bad news.
This is one of the things that Doozy said about the glider. He's one of the early adopters, as you said, and he was like, it gives me so much information about where people are. There goes to a glider. But also it gives other people around that person information as well. So he was saying he saw people starting to fight each other because they were shooting the glider at him. He kept safe and away he went, basically. But then they ended up fighting and then they came in on the third party. So I do like it. I'm kind of with you. Like, I do like that it's unique on this map, personally. I wouldn't mind them being kind of not as a hard spawn, but as like a random spawn. But I never really thought about actually leveling the playing field to come sort of the middle compounds. Because, yeah, there are teams that throw tournaments to hold a middle compound, to hold a compound from a tournament. So, yeah, really good insight into that. There goes Neighbour, though. He has got himself a glider. We go back towards win or die. He said, well, get the opening knock now from the kill feeds, leaderboard point of view. That's good for a lot of these teams, especially teams needing a big win. Seeing win or die, potentially losing bodies early, huge.
You can see that both ways. If you want to get first or second, then this is huge. If you just want to get 8th, then win or die, getting 20 points a game is a good thing for you, right? Because it makes that 8th spot so much easier. If the top soak up the points, but we can talk about that all we want. The main thing that's always going to matter is how many points do you get, right? We can talk about top teams sponging up points. Maybe the bottom teams leaving up more space on the leaderboard because they're not getting anything done. Nothing matters as much as you're getting points. But you get that frag, you're happy about it. You're going for that drive-by, and suddenly Layers is coming your way. Maybe you're not that happy anymore.
No, you can't be happy. Oh, they're taking a tumble as well. He jumps out the vehicle too early. There's one. Looking for the second. He'd be reading the kill feed knowing that there was an additional one down, but out of my bag gets punched. If they're coming in that third party action as well. Some more teams will be facing that south side. So yes, we do have some of the north side of the zone that is going to be in. A lot more teams will not favour to go there. They're going to be trying to play these locations here outside this sort of test track. If there's one of these teams trying to get involved between win or die, GZ, they start to put them down. They have the capability to get back. Obviously, the recall system's going to be there. And Jedrox, though, great spray. QBZ to advantage. Unfortunately, though, for Sad Man, side, he falls.
Yeah, maybe biting off a little bit more than they can chew. They were hoping to meet the BFLs here. And they ended up in the arms of Win or Die. Gedrox, he's not long-lived here. Even if Alpaca doesn't connect. I think the whole rest of BFL is ready to punch on this one. Ready to pounce, I should say. First it comes through, however. So he might get himself in the car and he might get away, but he's not even looking to get away, Mark. He's looking for a fight. He's not out of the fight until he decides he is. And again, there's the BFLs, but there's even Foot lurking in the distance.
We're trying to get the res. Esports now working their way and hearing the commotion in the distance, seeing if they can get involved. Now seeing the opportunity, goes for the confirm. Does some damage as well. Nate goes over towards the top, needs some reinforcements. Rest of Esports not too far away. Nate comes a bit too short here, but Esports are in a position now just to gain better angles. Bust up, backs up, and here we go. T-Bone now looking on to where the knock and confirm came from. Doesn't actually find any additional players. Those BFLs look to reposition early.
Do they know what they're walking into, though? Might not matter, because they might just disengage the whole entire thing here. Get themselves out of the question. Out of the questionable terrain. And T-Bone might not be able to get the angle in time. But it's another good start for them. For Esports. Slack might have the track on Alpaca as well. Might have the information. Might be able to tell his team, hey, there's a solo with me here in test track. And then Foot can converge and close that out as well. Another point. Another one of those crucial kill points that we talk all day about. So a good and very controlled start for Foot.
There's that glider waffle we keep waffling about. Someone request though. On that sort of north side. Again, there won't be too many teams here. We have seen some of these zones sort of play out towards the north as well, so the migration might be pretty painful. What about on the other side? Again, lurking towards that north side. Some shots will turn the bottom side of that glide up, just to keep him protected. Information gained. Let's go for a seat swap, get meds on, etc. But at the moment, just keep that glider airborne. It's going to be so critical, and I find it's always critical in that kind of mid-game. They're able to sort of find their way into a compound. If they do lose the zone here, maybe that is going to be the driver for Hands of Hope. But for now, they are in zone. They're in a really good position. A huge split, actually.
Yeah. Huge split. Plenty of space around that northern center side. The backcourt spot, yeah, it's like a very acceptable to land ratio, but the rest of the team has so much space, it doesn't matter as much, and he's getting the information on the north and on the east. And he's going to be crucial now, because he's going to be sending them at least into that valley north of Weewoo. At least into a good anchor spot to try and cross the river later on if you have to, but you probably won't have to, so getting anywhere close to Weewoo should be good enough for Hands of Hope.
It's going to be painful now on the west side. Well, this team's going to cross paths. If there's crossing paths again with Foot Esports, they are in zone. Yeah, well, Frenchy falls. Saints gets one, but we're looking to run him over. Let's get that confirmation. Saints going back for some more. It's all Saints. Unfortunately, will fall. Not just one, but two. They've taken a little bit more of a bite than what they would have liked. Subila holds out. Some flowy will get two as a reward. And this is this rotation chaos that I'm talking about. Though BFLs taking some shots on GZ. Has to try and back away. Skittles not too far afield either, as they drive their way towards the center point, which has the elevation. On the other side of this, though, Ko has Foot Esports. They're going to hear a lot of these cars rotating their way in.
Yeah, they're set up for it. Saints hasn't been their day, let's be honest. Hasn't been their day, but a little bit of over-aggression maybe sometimes. Costing them a little bit too much. As everybody's just trying to shift their way east. Everybody's trying to get into position for the zone. Xizo has gotten himself into position for a cheeky road camp. The JS9, not the easiest gun to lead a car with. He had to hit the shots when he had the window for it, but Milcario dodging to the side will make that very, very tricky. You can see he's just guessing where those bullets have to go, and it's quite hard. That's the game now up. And that's 3 contesters. Conquestors, I should say. Cruising towards GT210, who's just... I'm not sure what he's done, but he's lost a whole lot of altitude here.
Mayday, mayday. GT gets the stall flash. And TIA still duking out with the Saints. It's at the moment. One drives by, gets the tyre though. Gotta be cautious. Gotta keep it the straight line. He's going to safety. And if the rest of the guys now know, TIA 2 kills up. DK maybe waiting for some of those cars to sort of fall on his sword, but TIA know better. And they now position themselves. These guys are outside zone though here, Koho. They are limited on time. The only advantage they've got is phase number 2. Could maybe take a little bit more of a fight outside in this blue zone.
You're worrying too much, Mark. These guys are just driving circles in the field, trying to drive by each other, just having a good time. They're just, honestly, just blasting. Makes me want to play. Not a worry in the world. 2-for-1 trade at the moment for them. Hive clean up a solo in their vicinity, meanwhile. Get themselves a kill point and a good edge of the zone. Good slice. But I'm watching that map stream. I'm seeing Hive drive into Slam J, so I think that kill feed's lighting up on the wrong side for them in a second. No, Dante got himself out of trouble. Just in time.
So C. Here comes the zone. His way out of danger just at the moment. Conquest out very much on the outside edge now. I'd be surprised if the zone holds on. It doesn't. It does shift again back towards the west. We lose the water, we lose the unplayable, but there is elements of unplayable now still on the south side, so I wouldn't be too surprised as well. Teams maybe look for a reposition if they can. Otherwise, they might be looking from a phase 4, just trying to hold out.
Can we pull up that map for a second? Can we talk about where Hands of Hope were in phase 2 and how they have decided to put themselves exactly next to the water here? With phase 4 coming in?
They know they want to play the outside edge.
I don't know. They're going back now, Mark. I don't know if they're wanting to play the outside edge. I feel like they've just messed up their circle knowledge entirely. I think they've put themselves in a rough spot here and they're getting punished now.
Maybe they looked at the water or they sort of dry bed creep thinking it's non-playable, but maybe they haven't experienced the end zones that happen there. They've got through. Unfortunately, they're going back the way they've come, but they've got a neighbour. 888 will be here, waiting for the cars to come down. Maybe the punishment now happens. There's one! Vaku will fall. Looking to reposition now. That is a hand of hope for a res that I don't think is going to happen just yet. Saying that though, Koho, 8x888, they need reinforcements. They're on some high ground, but they're just not close enough.
Yeah, but I think if Hands of Hope commit for the res, they might be in just rough shape here. I think Salik getting this angle from the top is going to make that quite tricky. They're going to lose some vehicle tires. They're going to lose some heads if they aren't careful about them. Yep, there's the shots coming in. 4x, hard to connect the headshot. But he does get the pressure in now, but it's the worst time in the world. Just creeping around, just on your belly, hoping to dodge the shots miraculously, but you don't. Now they're down to 2. Down to 2 guys in 1 car. Hands of Hope. Their game's in tatters.
Yeah, listen, Zalus, now they have to go back the way they've come from again, thinking it's safe, but yet again it has been backfilled. P90 might draw them out. A couple of points here from the bridge cap that is happening. Someone request does get confirmation. The Conquest looking to find the rotation towards the west. Hands of Hope want nothing to do with it now. They say no more. They continue to rotate as they try and find themselves a new home.
Hero popped out as well. That's a resable knock if the smoke comes out fast. We're not going to see Weewoo flex out of the compound, I don't think. The main threat would have been 888 from the top. And Hoppage is going to have to defend with whatever he's got. His problem? The team that's going to push them next circle is the team that knows that they're down to 2. So, Hands of Hope in dire straits. Conquest. Still in that same fight from earlier. Still in trenches with the team that was camping them. And they still haven't made it into zone.
They're split as well. They have 2 on the other main side. 8 now getting involved. Ramsey. Get met on pretty quick here. Should do it in time. He does. Time's ticking. Phase number 4. He's in the blue. A swim. Arguably pretty much ensured destruction. If not, well, Salik is going to be that ensured destruction. He does get the knock with the mini.
C4 on the car. Bit of a Hail Mary for Antlis here. Got it on. Got the first hit off. Now he's going to get speed, and he doesn't have a ton of time left. That first hit cost him a bit. That bump's going to cost him a bit. Where's he going? Wait, what's the plan? He's crashing. Oh, he's crashing into the blue zone, but he's not even close enough. I thought he was going into the big part of the squad. Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, he didn't have a lot of moves left in his arsenal, but it's always just feels so bad to see a straight-up suicide with the C4.
Failed suicide as well.
Yeah, just a straight-up suicide, right? Like a failed suicide bomb is what I'm saying.
I'm gone. Maybe he was trying to help out this side, but I suppose with the players underneath the bridge, maybe not. I'm not sure. Obviously, we won't have the full comms. On the other hand, though, I'm looking to try and get moving zone shifts back towards that riverbed. I hope you get their race back on. Got 14 teams now. 6. Let's get a quick kill confirmed. Trinksy will fall. And this is the outside edge I'm talking about. We see the rotation away. And unfortunately, though, for Conquest, they rotate. They're so far out. In place for them. And unable to get to zone. Run!
Oi, oi. Got a gun at least. Fresh one. Off the ground, but the shots ringing out won't do them much good. Mogori is looking from the top. Holding that team out of zone. With phase 4 moving in and them not even being close to it. I think Mogori is going to get himself a feast here. If he has enough support, he could be farming.
I think Slam's in a really good spot. Yes, they're not quite in zone. It's only a stone's throw away. So, shots gets a connection. One goes down towards zone. Onto their final player here, GZ. Difficult. We'll have to go maybe for more of a full send. Slam G just can't get kind of tunnel vision now. They need to now look at what the next part of the zone is. And GZ doing the same thing. I think seeing the vehicles in front. I think someone there. He's got no meds. He's only got 1 booster. At least he sees some players in front of him.
Just gotta take out one. Unleashes, connects, but Hadouken just has to step over the top. Doesn't even have to. Game's over. GG. That knock comes in, though. And that could be the opening signal for Foot, but it is not. Akimari. He's got to step up, though. He's got to connect immediately. He's in a 1v2. His presence is now known, but he's done the damage. Might be enough to slow down Slamg.
B. We need to wait for the peak. When it comes over the top, obviously with a knock behind. Let's take the time now just to get the res. Slamg looking to try and move zone shifts back the way it came towards that northeast as well. So Hakamari disengages here. Looking to go back to the vehicles as they've got to rotate their way in. This is difficult now for some of these teams on the outside. Footy Sports making the early rotation. They want to lock out the southwest corner as well. TAA got a handful of meds. Hasn't got a lot of time. Maybe enough just to get in, pop another first aid and get moving. But he's going to be part and parcel of this big clash. Slam G, Skittles, Footy Sports. And that's before he takes a shot. And it comes from distance. He's going to fall. Going to come down from our storm request.
It's from a long ways off as well.
Yep.
Skittles on the send. Giving the majority of the numbers up, but cruising into Foot Esports, never a good time. Cappy on the shots. Miracle on the drive, and does Foot realize that the compound's just been evacuated? Does Foot realize that we will just left the compound right in front of them? I'm not sure. But Skittles, I'm sure, know about this, know what they're cruising into, but they will be ready for a fight. Hadouken with the immediate drive-by immediately popped out, and that's good damage on the sprays. See you later, Skittles. Storm on request, pop them out of the vehicle.
it's always going to be difficult in that southwest corner, right? Where do you go? Do you send it into the kind of riverbeds, maybe 50-50? Do you even get a clean card transition over here? Mostly not. To play in the hill, risky play. I think at this point it was well, we know our time is pretty much spent. Hive, on the other hand, trying to do the same. Nate goes forward. Bit of splash damage though, but they are split though, but great shots will come in. Dante stands the test of time. Can he now stand the final push here from Slam G? He's not got any heavy util. He has got the flash. Flash goes up and over. Diverts away. Gets underneath the nade though, but looking for the shots, but not getting the connection.
Doesn't get the connection. Artix can run him down now, and he does. So, saves the day for Slam G. Is the day saved? I'm not sure, but a few points collected at least. Maybe one res on the cards, but then they're going to be very pressed for time. Going to have to move immediately, and they're going to be walking into multiple teams here, especially at P90. In the hands of Hoppage. Would require a bit of a fumble for Hoppage not to get the frags here, but he ain't looking. He ain't focusing on it. He's just hoping that SlamG doesn't even come his way. Whenever he hears the steps, he's going to have to spin on a dime and put that SMG to use.
2 kills as well. As that zone tightened up, Esports found a home. Reboot with that 2-2 split has been huge, especially for these teams in the south. Really not allowed them to kind of stop and force them full send. Like enough for Hoppage, he does turn rounds, and it's not just one, there's 2. Slam G, well, they fall in 7th place. 6 teams remain. We're now in the placement points. Additional point now for every team. Reach additional placement after this until you get to first place. 5 wind up though. We're out towards 10 for our first place.
Talked about this in chat before. It's essentially a super V2, right? So the win is slightly emphasized because every other placement matters less. And then the kills are slightly emphasized because there is less placement points overall. And placing high except for winning is not quite as valuable. So I quite like it. I think it's quite interesting. It's not as far from the old format as the interim format we had for a little bit, but there's a full breach and full effect. Storm on request flying in. They were doing good on the defense earlier. Now the aggression is proven to be more tricky.
Nice.
Cadle with an important one, and he survives the nade mark.
How? Like a landmine. It's built different. Storm request coming down. Sadiq knows how to parcel that package to perfection. Cadle will fall. 888 still hold the line here. Storm request though. They come off the mountain. Not quite a storm, a bit more of a breeze at this point. And 888 still hold. They still hold the line. Wee Woo coming in from behind. And that rotation gets them another point. It only puts them on 2. Storm request will fall. 6th place for them. Now Wee Woo take the high ground. I'm looking to try and punish though. 888 down in the riverbed.
Oh, that's clean. That is clean. That's what the devs are taking away in just a few patches, in just a few weeks. 2 taps for the DMRs. Not allowed. Not fair anymore. X-Hype gonna be nerfed significantly in the next one. The amount of pressure he just put into Foot and the amount of time and resources he's just cost them there is absolutely insane.
It's just a high ground though, right? It's just, they're so punishing here. And I'm actually quite surprised that Storm Request gave up the position. Maybe they saw the opportunity to get some more kills. We'll have to wait and see. Hands of Hope. Oh, he gets it. Harug put down Scav. And they're sort of trying to charge their way forward. There goes the molly. That's pretty good. Doesn't quite get the connection. The second one goes a little bit too far. Scav will launch his way through. It comes for the resmoke. Third molly's a charm. That's going to cause some huge pressures though. But Cappy, well, Mind of Steel. He's able to stick the res underneath the pressure. Footy Sports though will remain as a 3 here. T-Bone is still alive, but he's further along the riverbed. C4, that's a bit of a distance if you want to try and launch it, or at least get the car in there. But a successful car rotation in there, that could be destructive.
He doesn't want to go though. I think he wants to sell his teammate here. He's like, I got the P90, you go with the C4. I'll get the trades. That's what Hoppage is trying to figure out a way to communicate right now, I believe. Because a C4 breach is, I think, the play here. They've got a ruined Dacia that would still make it over the top, so if they time it right, they could still do this, especially teamed up with the P90 swinging afterwards. I think that it just is the play. X-Hype finally stopped. Moves down the hill, gets found by T-Bone. And once again, Mark, for Esports, in a top 5, 4-man strong still. It could fall apart, but their consistency has been nothing short of amazing.
The big thing this one is that they haven't had the zone, right? They've now had to play their way in towards the zone, so they've not been gifted, as some people might be saying. It's a good hold. We've definitely got more utility potentially to use. Maybe not as much as 8 as they've gone back to go get some more. So he's on his way now in towards zone here, but he's got himself the links. Connection to Weewoo could be huge though. Yeah, down to a duo, but we are 5 teams up. It does feel like full control from Foot Esports. Yes, they're in a bad spot, but this 2-2 split could be punishing as long as they can stop any breaches coming their way.
If there wasn't a P90 in the hands of Hoppage, I wouldn't be that worried about Foot. But one good flash and a P90 push over the top could just immediately ruin the day for them. And then on the other side of the coin, Weewoo are cruising into a solo here who has a P90 as well. So Weewoo was the main competitor. It was the other 4-man team. They're no longer a 4-man team. If DK gets that reload out, if he puts that 3 gear and the strongest gun in the game to use, or maybe one of the strongest guns in the game, they're in trouble.
Car nearly going. It's interesting position. Now there's a little spin, takes huge amounts of damage, steps out though. DK with a P90, you say, he's punishing. He just wasn't punishing enough. He gets 2. Taken apart, Weewoo extinguished under the arms of that P90. And Hands of Hope now been extinguished of the zone. Fruity Sports knowing the push has to come that way. Scav with the flash, waiting for the flashes to come over. They get themselves in the car. Maybe it's more of a bait. They reposition the fortification. And Hands of Hope. There's much more hope left. Phase number 8. We're going to go phase number 9. And Fruity Sports the only team now in the center.
And the competition has been cut short. Hero as well, right? I talked so much about his P90. Or not Hero, but Hoppage. But Hero basically no vest, no helmet. Hoppage, no helmet. Not a lot of util to speak of on any of these members. It's going to make the game a little bit less scary for Foot, because they are sitting in dips. They are sitting in between squads. Util is their absolute nightmare. They could easily get naded here and not even know who's nading them. Not even know who's pushing them because there's so many squads nearby. There's these flashes we talked about though. There's the flashes I mentioned that could make this work. But the third person car cover for Cappy does the work for now. The smoke spam does another bit of it. 1 HP on Hoppage. The blue's going to touch him and he's going to go down.
Yeah, he's been flashed. He's going to step out to the blue. Good crossfire. Good cover though from Foot Esports. They draw remainers of 4 though, but one will fall here. It's a 4 versus 2 versus 2 versus 1. One has been knocked. Nade comes through. You said they could be punishing. There could be this punishing. There's a confirmation as T-Bone. Well, he scrambles to safety.
At least T-Bone's still in it. Man's been a monster today. It's been the deciding factor in a lot of the success they found. And the game's just gotten a lot simpler for them. Dealing with Hands of Hope has made their game a lot easier, a lot more doable now. Still gotta be dodging. Still gotta be dancing. Because they've expanded their util early. They've fought a lot of their fights already. They can't really get much pressure back, and T-Bone, wherever he goes, the area around them just blows up immediately. 8 at 8. They still have multiple nades left here. They still have 4 nades left overall on the squad. That could just seal the deal, but you can see that they're splitting their attention now. If they just kept nading T-Bone, they'd be taking him out, Mark, but they don't know that they're doing this much damage. They don't have the info that we do.
I wonder if they actually know if T-Bone's still there. If they had the intel that it's a 2 split. I think they now know based on the movement and the noise. Well, these nades are coming in more and more accurate, but the run up here as well. Had to be cautious. T-Bone steps towards their side. Goes in towards the smoke. That's going to give away some of the sound cues here. Saints down to the final player. Been for some time. P90, we will know he's there. Now Footy Sports looking to try and collapse. We provide some reinforcements. Cappy leading the charge. Scav does get the Saints down. So we're into a top 3. Still a 3 versus 2 versus 2. They've expelled a lot of their heavy util, but the flashes might be the case here, Kai. They're going over the top, though. They've got one, they've got two. Scab's the final player. It's a charm. He goes down and annihilate Foot Esports with one push.
Util makes all the difference in the world. There's Salik now, last one up. He's got an angle, though. He's found a player in the open. He's brought this down to a 1v1. He's got 3 gear and a barrel as well. He's an absolute force to be reckoned here with, Mark. Shaggy. Gotta be careful himself. And you can see Salik, he wants to dip further in. He wants to get more util. He wants to get more of that cheat code that allows you to win fights without peeking. Circle is going to be closing. And I think Salik is much closer to the center than Shaggy is, but Shaggy has a bit of maneuverability behind his ridge there, so just going to come down to the gunfight.
We're down to a flash and push, though. Actually does connect on him. He wants to flash out, takes the damage. It's a full spray in towards the smoke. Can he get any information? He's trying to get the sound cues. Comes out the other side. Don't forget, though, the information hasn't now failed. It's a straight 1 versus 1. No, and he does get a hit on him, but he falls to the drop shot, though. 888 go down, and wee woo. 14 points, though. It actually closes it out. Good play. 1 versus 1. It's a 50-50 chance, and it was well played by both players.
Well done by both. I wonder how much they knew, how much they tagged each other through the smokes there, right? Because you're spamming away, you're trying to guess the angles, but you never really get the feedback that you put the other guy to 1 HP. But yeah, beautiful stuff from Weewu. Bit of a question mark for me what Hands of Hope were giving up that position for. We saw what 888 were able to do from it. And I want to touch on a point you made earlier, Mark, right? You were saying, not sure why Storm on Request gave up the top of the hill that now Weewu won the game from. But I think that's a little bit sort of easier for us to say that it is in game, because some positions, there's a lot of positions in the game that are strong to hold and strong to play from. But some positions are just, they're strong in the late game, but they're also easily pushed. And I think if you're Storm on Request on that hill and you get pushed from the compound team has somebody close to you and has an anchor on the compound still on range, you actually probably just get swept aside. So I think Storm on Request not even really making a mistake here. It's just the nature of the game that some hills especially, or high ground plateaus, are very easily pushed. And I actually like that they went away from that spot.
And to add to that, because the big thing is we do have the information that they don't see everything, because they would have potentially known that it's going to end in this sort of area. Maybe they were looking to try and take that position that Foot Esports were in. So difficult. It is difficult because, yeah, we do have the eyes in the sky. We can see a lot more. When it comes down to it, though, it comes down to a 1 versus 1. And the paramedics from Weewu do get the victory. Game 3 done. We've only got 1 more game. So we're going to have a very quick break. When we come back, though, it's going to be going old school. Back to Erangel for match number 4.
You can use the standard WASD keys to walk around. Double-tap the spacebar to switch to flying mode. Tap C to descend and space again to go up. Hit B to enter build mode. Now you can start placing props and devices anywhere on the map. To open the full editor, press P to launch the Edit Manager. Here, you'll see all available props, from walls and stairs to full buildings. Click any object, then press 0 to 9 to assign it to a quick slot. You can now press that key to place the object instantly. Need to fine-tune? Use E and R to rotate or scale. Use F and G to adjust distance. Press X to lock to axes, and Y to ignore collision. Want to test gravity? Just hit T to toggle gravity on your object. You can also copy, delete, or multi-select with simple mouse clicks and hotkeys. Next up, we'll show you how to set the rules of your game. Rounds, respawns, teams, you control it all. Let's dive into the rule setting. Press P to open the Edit Manager, then switch to the Rule Set tab. Here, you can fully customize your game logic. Set the number of rounds. Choose a score limit or time limit to end each round. Define how many teams play, anywhere from 2 to 100. Set team size, 1 to 10 players per team. Enable or disable respawn, and set its cooldown timer. Add invincibility after respawn for smoother gameplay. By enabling fill test players, you can spawn dummy bots to test whether your custom mode is functioning properly. If you'd like to play a solo game instead of a team match, simply adjust the team count and team size settings in the rule setting menu. For example, if you want a 100-player free-for-all solo match, set team count to 100 and team size to 1. Next up, we'll introduce the devices. Have you ever imagined creating your own pub?
One more remains though for day number 1. We do have 4 maps tomorrow. So this is a best of 8 player cut week number 1. But it has been impressive, Karo. Lots of early engagement, and we were, well, like an emergency service, they come storming in there at the end, and that's going to really skyrocket them up the table.
Excuse me, just making movements with my mouth without actually saying anything to check if you guys are paying attention. We said before this game, any team in the bottom half of the scoreboard, if they get a win, they'll be in the top. And, well, there is Weewoo. 19 points, 10 placements from a win, 9 kill points. There they are. No problem for them at all. Push themselves towards the top, push themselves into 4th place, which is honestly massive, considering that 2nd and 1st were already unattainable. So a really respectable spot for them to be in.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely worth noting. I've not really felt Hive have been firing on all cylinders at the moment. They are on the cut-off point, and the cut-off point currently as it stands is 13 points, which we definitely can confirm it's not going to be that after a best of 8. But they've been there. They're getting some kills, Guy, but they've just not really. I expect bigger kills from this team. So
Yeah.
maybe in this last game to kind of work their way up this leaderboard.
Yeah, you would expect a little bit more. We'll see what comes of it, but they have plenty of chances, right? They've still got 5 games. We've only played 3, and again, oh my, Jesus. All right. What is that? Jesus.
Has he got a knife? Hold on, has he got a knife?
Why has the baby got a knife?
Why is he in the cupboard as well?
Sentences
bamboozled.
you never want to hear from anybody. Why does the baby have a knife?
Is it a knife? Did I make that up? I feel like it was.
It
We'll go
was.
to the map stream so the observer can go back and double check.
That's some creepy stuff.
But there you are. There's a PUBG Easter egg in Savannah. The baby with the knife. The death point at the pinnacle of the north versus the southeast plane path. But it is a very eastern plane shift. We're going to kind of reject out anything very much in that southwest corner. But a multi-power could be quite dangerous early back towards Savannah. We might have to take on that baby. For now, everyone looks pretty clear. But I'm worried. There's a big sea of colour coming out in that middle part of that plane.
Yeah. There is an entire room named after the creepy baby statue, right? That we have in some of these buildings, some of these 2-story buildings. But man, I didn't even know. I don't think I've ever looked. I had no idea. That is wild. Unsettling.
I'm having nightmares now.
Not what you want to see when you open a cupboard.
You're going to see me tomorrow here, like with really wide eyes, because I've not slept because of the baby. Slam G and Fruity Sports though clash heads, little bit of a beat. And the zone, well, it goes early. It goes very much towards the northwest. Georgia Paul is in. Huge amounts of these teams now. They've got to get looted and rotating pretty early from a team like Win or Die. Used to this location. You've got to remember, they normally loot in North Georgia Paul, so they've already picked up the cars and now they're working their way to the King of the Hill. And unfortunately for Hands of Hope, he's been identified.
Better get out in time. And he does get out in time, but it doesn't matter when it's Win or Die that's on the chase. They're absolutely brutal. They will hunt you down. They love their early game aggression, and we've seen their aggression countless times. The only thing that can stop Levante is his vehicle or the blue zone, apparently. And he's jamming as well, man. He's just having a good time, bro.
If you're hunting down a player, why not do it the latest tunes from PUBG? They will now work their way back towards their normal loot spot. Hands of Hope will go towards Saverney. Maybe they've not seen what's in that building that we have. The rest of these teams I mentioned before, they've got to get rotating. This is quite a dangerous zone. Emergency pickups could be key. You might need to take them a little bit earlier or go quite late and try and get airborne as that zone hits. So, element of the south is in. I do worry about Everest. Seems to always attract the zone. It doesn't mean it's going to win on the south side, but everyone's sort of passing by, trying to get to their primary spots now.
Yeah, and a lot of teams go into their primary spots and already put themselves in solid spots in the circle, right? Here, Win or Die. If they wouldn't have wasted all that time hunting a solo, they'd be looting up right now and then moving into that circle from the southwestern side into a lot of free terrain. The plane so far east and the circle so far northwest means there is tons and tons of space to grab. Same for a team like Weewoo. They've gone a very long way, but they're just coming in from a super favorable, super empty side, so should be playing a good game as well. The early game shenanigans though, Mark, they're going a bit crazy right now.
They are. I think I remember this is game number 4, right? So if you've had a bad first 3 games, this might be the only opportunity now to kind of close off on a good spot. Conquest though gets one. Looking for the second, but he sees the other car coming in, able to get the safety jar. Not quite in time, but the reinforcements are here. Cramsey. Well, he gets one. He has to duck towards cover though, but he hasn't seen the off angle. He's down to a 1-shot, and Zubila's gonna punish him.
Oh, rough times. I was going to say the support's coming in, but no, that's not the support. That's a completely different team. That's 888 coming for the cleanup. The rest of Conquest nowhere to be found. Split all the way across the map. Well, early game disaster for them. You're not looking for those blue chips, but I tell you what 888 is looking for. They're looking for 4 kill points up for grabs.
This is the big thing, right? It's just the points that we're looking to try and get. They get the reses back in. Blazer now just trying to figure out where they are. Cars rotating away. Looking to try and get the knocks. There's one.
And 2.
Seconds. You know the body is in the smoke. Underneath the noses of them. Gets out of the smoke. I think he's been spotted. Something like we have to provide the cover. At least for now. He's drawing in the attention from the guns. But with no helmet, this is rough to hold.
And I think he's going to lose his close range anchor there in a bit. Whenever Mochik comes around. But he's not been spotted. Nevertheless, Hope could get the double here. Just got to get the first. And he's got to quickly connect. Oh, it's disastrous. It's a tragedy. He doesn't connect the first, so he doesn't ever see the second. No success for Never Lost Hope. No res for Sunflower. He jumps out of the car. I'm not sure why. Maybe he doesn't want to live all by himself. But he does think of it once more and does fall away from it at the end. I want to make a point here, Mark, okay?
Go for it.
I want to make a point. This is the EP we're seeing. Storm on request. What they're thinking is pretty simple. They think the plane was pretty far east. The circle's northwest. We just take an early EP to that northwestern corner. No one's going to be there. And we are just going to be able to get ourselves cars, loot, a massive amount of space. But so many teams went early, and Weewoo is just going to inhabit all of that space. So the early EP for Storm on request, almost always the right choice, it's not going to work for them here at all.
And this is part of the, when we saw that zone, if the teams weren't rotating quickly, it's going to be punishing. And you're right, Storm on request, we're thinking they're still in a good spot, right? But so many teams were on the rotation. The flight path was so far to that east that, like teams like Win or Die, who land in North George, they're always going to be going for the cars. They're always going to be migrating this way as well. So, have to wait and see. I think they might get away with it. Down falls in style. But what the big giveaway is, when they look at that compound on the left, that car is not going to be there. And they're already taking the shots, though, from Weewoo. So they've been tracking that helicopter above.
I have an early engagement, and Dante not winning it out despite the right hand peek, despite the better start to the fight. Finds himself taken out. The support's there. Schengen draws up into absolute crossfire territory. Gonna be happy that he's still living. Presenti now has to do it. The vault comes out for all the packet, and he absolutely destroys Schengen on the outside as well. This was a 4v2 just a few seconds ago, Mark, and it's not going the way it should have gone.
That's what I say about Hive. They've been there, but not to the level I've seen and casted them, right? It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't seem to be firing, as I say, on all cylinders. Have the opportunity to sort of dig out. There is a recall system here, so Schengen is getting the information exactly where he is. Presenti swapping over. Vante now denies that information. He comes in on Everest. He will still hold. So he's on the high ground. He's going to be punished. He's going to be seen first, but he gets the repick. Now it's down to Presenti. The shotgun, well, that delivers the punch that's needed. Hive are here. Levante will be getting the kill feed read, and I wouldn't be too surprised if he can try and punish. Lucky enough, though, for Hive. The rest of our Win or Die team are too far away. They're centered up in zone, and more chaos is unfolding elsewhere.
SlamG in for Arctics. Next with a good headshot. Foot already down numbers. They gotta get that res on. T-Bone. Stumbling around with a C4 in hand. Might not be the time for aggression. It might be just time to defend. But I think SlamG... Well, they want to get into this, but they surely got to get the res first, or excuse me, the first aids first. Scarf bleeds out. I think it's a little short. But it is a tough res here outside the building, and T-Bone knows this. Wants to get him inside, wants to hope that Bidet Buster is going to be able to provide the damage from the top, so he can get the res in the bottom. I'm fearing the util here, though.
Yeah. So Snake goes up towards the second level. He comes back out, gets caught in the sandbags, though. It's unfortunate for the guy standing looking for the angle. T-Bone goes one side! Ah, lucky enough, though. Mogul arrives, though. The M249 is going to provide the final blow. Footy Sports doing enough, though, in the first 4 games. And they'll be looking for that security. As these teams now need to try and work their way in. Someone might be going back to go get some chips. There's no destroyed cars, so unless they've taken them with them, it wouldn't be a reason to be running out in the blue. So my logic telling me he has an opportunity to try and get the rest of his team back.
Yeah. I love how you're mind reading our observer at this point. Exactly what he's trying to show us. There is a small chance he's just going for the loot, but realistically he's going to be going for the chips here. Question is, again, this is not one of these late respawns that I've been criticizing a lot, but it is a respawn without an anchor point in the zone, right? Maybe they can jump into Rozhok, start playing up from there, get a little bit of loot going at least. Maybe you just jump into Severny and hope for the best. But without a spot in zone, it is so rough to pull off these reses. They're gonna have a challenge ahead of them, even if they get 3 reses here.
It plays into your point, right? Of the, well, if you go and get the reses back in, you're just giving points to someone else. Wait and see. Our zone does play back towards that north side, though. Severny is in. Rozhok, as you mentioned, does remain as well. Hive able to get the recall back themselves, but they have a foothold at the moment, so they could maybe keep the edge. It'll be in phase number 3. It'll be in the blue. Or they have the opportunity to potentially load a car, at least provide something to the guys if they come back on the recall system.
Sneaky spot for Dizzy. And once that DMR rings out, that's his go signal. But oh my god, what a whiff! How did the Observer know? Observer saving Dizzy's honor here, just not showing us the shots because that must have been brutal to watch, but the nade comes over the top, does it anyways. Oh my. Honor saved, I suppose.
Oh my.
Oi. Oi, oi, oi.
That's what you don't want to get caught in stream. Still a request. Cruising by. Crates up. Provides a creative knock. And unfortunately for Weewoo, oh my day, Vlad the cookie crumbled from the gods above. The red zone claims 1. Still a request. Nowhere to be able to claim the potential pressure because they're being held out in the compound as well. That is unfortunate for Weewoo. One player remains here from Storm on request.
That's a heartbreak. That slows them down so much. They were easily and cleanly winning that fight. Now they're still winning the fight, but they're delayed so much getting that res, not able to close it out in time, not able to move into zone as fast as they would have liked. But we'll see how well it goes. EP comes out for the lads from the southwest here. We saw a few respawns already coming in. Hive getting theirs, for example. But again, Hive had a spot in zone, so not a huge challenge for them. While Sunflower just got his res going, and he's going to have to wait another minute and 10 for his teammates to come back.
Well, yeah, he just got on Potato Hill, didn't he? So yeah, he's still got a long hold. Arguably, he should have, if he got it in a bit sooner, they could have been jumping for that Rozhok, but that zone is going to shift potentially away. We have to wait and see. Still on request. Trying to catch the players in the open. Good molly here. I'm sure he will be punishing, but it's going to fall short. Now comes the full crash. We were put up in style. Storm request. Breathed aside. 13th place for them. They will say no more here for day number 1.
Solid day. In third before this game. Big performance from the lads. As we now see Hive swinging back south around. They got 2 of their reses. Sunflower's gotten 3, but that plane's not there yet. Without Dope. So far a day to forget. Actually a team we remember, a team with a lot of experience. They've just EP'd into shooting range. They've just EP'd right into the middle of Nabat and the rest of the squad. So not going to be greeted kindly here. Going to be very quickly bleeding numbers. But it's a tricky fight for both teams. The Util is doing wonders for them.
Yeah, here comes the push though without a Dope. Catch 1. Grenade though. That's a breach across the open terrain. Southside's going to be punishing from the hillside as well. They continue that pressure though. They do continue the pressure though. Baku will go down. Nabat now is the final player. He's in the outside edge of shooting range as he shoots on in. He's more reliant on Conquest, more reliant on win or die. Getting these kills here. Conquest will pop the smoke. We'll give him the opportunity now just to overwatch this and slam G while they slam their way into shooting range on the north as well.
Such a hard area to play. This is not because it's a bad area to play. It's just hard. It's just so hard because every side, every edge can pull up, every edge can look down on you or get close when you're not looking. It's absolutely a minefield. Minefield, excuse me. And then you got a Subila in there who's gotten himself a 1911 pistol, if my eyes don't fail me.
It's good for
And
2
that's
kills.
all he's got to his name.
He's good for 2. He's good for 2. Conquest saved actually without Dope. As,
1911, let's go.
As he took the one of player out. There we go. This is what he's going to do. He's good. Let's find him more. Okay. Level 1 helmet. Rounds now. Zone working its way in. Uh-oh. Time left on the clock though. 50 seconds before the zone starts shifting its way in. So these teams on the outside edge will be here. It'll be worth noting. Skittles are holding that south side as well. So the rest of the team try and work in. Conquest will try to hold off the win or die push. Needs to pick one of the fights. Goes for 1. He's got 3 up for grabs though. Gets the initial spray. Goes for repick. Needs to get the reload. Gets the reposition. But he's taking the third party action. Nade will cause the damage. Levante will end Conquest's hope to be king of the castle in the south.
Now comes in from range, but should be easily raised. And there it is. Halamabad, he took his time. He was patient. He picked up the Zubila, but there it is. Another edge comes into play. Another edge says hello. And that will be Wee Woo. Claiming one from the outside. They finally consolidated from their red zone casualties. And moved into the shooting range area. And Sunflower, he's gotten all of his reses off. Now he's got to make his way into zone. And I know things that he doesn't. And they make me very, very doubtful about his success. Because Sloy is here and Hadouken are here. And honestly, these two guys, they're not known for missing bullets, Mark.
Would you argue that job's done? He's survived. He's got the reses back in. Let's see if they can maybe get out of shooting range. Hadouken gets that confirmation. It was always going to be difficult this way. But do they even know Hive looking for a big game at the end here? They pulled up. Zone's just down towards the south, so they've got a little bit of time here. They've got to be cautious. They're just trying to figure out what time do they sort of strike. Maybe they should be waiting for the team to sort of work their way in towards zone. They're waiting for the looting to finish.
Yeah, they're waiting for the free opening here. Waiting for somebody to come over the ridge or at least expose himself enough for the opener. The problem is Presenti doesn't have nades, so he can't get the opener with the nades, and he can't follow up an opening knock with one either, so not the easiest situation to be in. Now he's got to leave, and he's going to dodge that entire engagement.
It's a bait. Oh, no.
I think the game's just stopped from both sides. I think Skittles have seen this, and Hive know that they do. But the blue zone play from Sloy might be massive here. He doesn't have a whole lot of time because the blue zone is back. Oh, that was a juicy moment incoming. But he thinks better of it. Values his own life more than the potential damage he could do to Hive. And that might just be the right call.
Hive, draw attention back towards the north again. So they do get the knock. Placer does go down. They can punish that single blue shack. that long building, but I want to look for a crash. CAA. So we're back to a 2. Super is down. Unfortunately for them, as you said, mate, it's very difficult these mid to late games on the recall system. Unless you've got guaranteed loot or guaranteed spot where you can get loot from, it's pretty rough. You've got to be creative, and that's what we're seeing from TAA at the moment. No vest, no helmet. They're trying to keep bodies alive.
There it is again. Shooting range. Just so hard to keep numbers up. So hard to keep any sort of control. You get knocked from one side. You get third party from the other. Much more fun to be sitting around the edges. And man, Levante says goodbye. Puts the dragon off to use. Pops him out of existence. Just like that. One more team gone.
One more team has gone. Saints, there's confirmation on Boostic. Antics will go down. Mogul down to 4 HP. Oh, thought he was going to take a little bit of a tumble there as he did get out of the car a little bit early. So I'm going to play it now for them. Arrives. So it does get the connection. Unfortunately for Slam G, the zone said no. Have to go from there. As the rest of you guys will continue on the approach. So as he's tighten up, we do lose the rest of the shooting range. AAA in a good spot. Hive losing the high ground. So again, they kind of got a knock early. They are chasing kills from Skittles. I do fear Will die in a good spot. AA in a good spot. The rest is kind of ensured destruction now. And see if you can keep your head down.
Wondering where Hive goes from this. We talked about them a bit earlier. Wondering what they'll make of it. Because I think that southern side has to explode here very soon, right? Yeah, there's the opener. But once Skittles engage, once they get into Weeble, Hive's going to be there. Same if it goes the other way around. If Weeble goes aggressive here, Hive is going to be there to punish, so... I don't see a lot of winners coming out of this, Mark. I can just see a lot of teams dying and, yeah, maximizing points.
It's just a point game. I kind of will die in a good spot. AA, good spot. Here, fellas, they can hold on to the zone. At this point, you kind of look at what teams are in front of you and try and get yourself an additional 4 points if you can. Hive, they're doing just that. There's one. Weeble the other side gets 2. Gets a steal, potentially. They're on 6 kills now. Skittles, full send, but where'd you go? There's a little bowl here, maybe, but this is going to be very, very difficult, and it's limited. So reliant on the other teams around him fighting just to get away from it at the moment, but he does survive. 9 teams, not quite in the placement points.
It's a tiny bowl. It's a desperation send. It should get him into placements here many times, but the problem that I see is he's not on the super format. 8th place is not a placement, and, well, Weevil might be going out. They were trying to drive by Hive, who was much better set up for it, but a single drive-by from Lad, for example, could already do the trick. It could deliver a point, but I think he's going to take off the mortar here, surely. Yeah. And then, oh, he's ready for it. Ready and aware. What we want, drive-by, doesn't come out in time. The cover prevails for Vardy.
Good play. Really good play. There's only one place he was going to go, and good spot from the car. Back to the point farming, should we say? 2 flashes go over the top. Senti looking to try and live to fight another day. Gets in the car, now backs away. Rest of his guys holding to a sliver of zone, so a little bit of sliver of freedom. Might need to keep the cars alive, and that was a rock that we kind of hit. Seems like it's, well, really left to their own devices on the north here. So Beerfellas held the compound, and hope on that final body with Nabat. Again, still alive. It's going to be so critical zone. Going to shift. Shift back towards the west. Gives up Beerfellas. Gives up 888. And they now draws them into the open train fighting. This is a horrible open end game here for match number 4.
It's massive for win or die, but it's potentially massive for Hive as well. Because I think Hive are just going to be going for win or die here. And it is a 4v3. So whenever they do close out that fight, if they manage to do it convincingly, they'd be in one of the best spots possible in this circle, potentially the winning spot. 888, they got a little bit more work to be done. They can close out the solo here, get themselves into placements, get themselves another kill point. But what they do after isn't as telegraphed.
Not telegraphed. I've seen 2 cars, seen 2 opportunities that someone could be lurking. They might now have seen the body. Vardy. Car will now go. More nades will come in. That's the damage. Now Vardy needs to get re-smoke. Maybe smoke back towards those cars. Try and find some safety. But he's using that peak above really well. And he disengages. And a new hope. He's got no more smoke left here, Koa. So he's going to be reliant on this rock and that alone.
Yeah, whenever they peek over, whenever they spot him, it should be game over. But they are being held back a little bit by the beer fellas, who are now starting to move out to that ridge right below the house. They're going to make the game much harder for 888, and they might keep him in it for a bit. Being said, again, once that smoke fade, he's in absolute trouble. That could be long enough, though. That could be just the time he needs. What a nade over the top.
Whoa.
Does he know the damage he's done? Do they have more to follow up? It doesn't look like it. Oh, a second nade could have done wonders here.
Yeah, again, there was only 1 dump. You would have thought maybe 2, maybe 3. Expectations our team's going to be there. They know they're there because they've been shooting at them. So, I mean, I expected them to play away. Missed opportunity here from the beer fellas. By Twinksy, Saints pick up rocks. That's the confirmation as well. That's another point for them. 5 into 7. And Tate now getting exposed. He's trying to take the fight here on win or die. Has been caught. Hands of Hope. Neighbour also in a bad position. And plays out well. Launches a nade back the way towards the beer fellas. And returns the favour and gets an opening knock.
Eight at 8, still struggling. Trying to stay clean in this, but the pressure's mounting. They now got to get out of their bowl. Not much cover left. They still haven't dealt with the solo. They haven't dealt with the beer fellas, who've got a few more seconds in the tank. But still a very winnable situation. If they find 1 or 2 opening knocks, game's in their hands. Wurzik goes down. Solo still hasn't struck, but there's the clear now. And there's the turnaround with the barrel. It's not enough, though. The trades are okay. The M16 Flyflex. What is that weaponry? The man's got nothing to work with. Freshly respawned almost. And the beer fellas are falling apart, Mark.
They have fallen apart. Where's it going down? He's the only one that had the heavy utility for the team as well. So M16 not providing the punch that is needed. Zone shifts away. Should be able to get 1 back up here. A bit of time. Got to get the res on pretty quick. Has a limited amount of time before the Saints maybe here on over. And there it is. It's a double tap. Goodbye. And we're now in our top 4. The Saints have 4. We'll die with a 2. 888 with 2. And Hands of Hope with Nabat still remains as a solo. Finding themselves some free kills.
This is the test for the Saints. They've not had a good day. They've looked shaky in a lot of their fights. They've picked up a few kill points here or there, but not looked convincing so far. They got to win this one. They got to figure out a way this one won. It's not free, but it is the best chance they'll get in the day. Then possibly the best chance for a win they'll get in the entire tournament. And they got to figure out how to approach this one. How to not fall to the solo. How to not get delayed too much by Motic here. But that being said, the man has no first aids left. He's got no helmet. He's in the blue. Surely he can't get much done. There it is. Big. Big and important frag.
Just he gave it away. Or maybe to drop this out. Sally, in a good position though. Let's go for the peak. Looking to get number 6. Let's get number 6 on the board though. So we do get the killing spree on the other side though. 4 versus 2 versus 1 versus 1. So just on the outside edge now. Backing away. Saints need to be careful. DK spots the retreat from Sadiq and punishes. 4th place though for 888. Now, everyone else drawing their attention, but Nabat, he draws a lot of 556 and 762 towards him. He has to take a seat. He's only got 1 med remaining.
Well, the Saints have passed the first test, but not with flying colours, that's for sure. They would have loved to keep 4 up, and oh god, am I scared for DK now. Walking up into Levante. He's put himself in a bit of an advantageous position, but I'm not sure if Levante did get the spot on him. If he did, he has decided not to engage. Mindset, he's just cruising into the middle. They knew about Nabat before. Oh boy, it's falling apart, and I feel like we're already just counting up the seconds until Win or Die sweeps this.
Gotta remember, Nabat, strong contender, right? Win or die, strong contender. One set's gonna be down. This duo knows how to put the final pieces of a puzzle together. Make that checkmate move. Team Saints have moved up. DK has spotted Levante. Leosh very much focused. They'll be very aware that both teams now are in a 2 versus 2. Leosh takes a good couple of shots. DK, though, knows not to get drawn in, and he has seen that player move up. Both teams are on a good spot. Fortunately, though, for the Saints, the zone gives up. And they've got a little bit of a run to find their way back in, and not much util to do it.
Oh, a little bit of a run is almost an understatement. It's Levante who's shooting at him, remember that? Observer is begging for DK to activate. He's already jumping over there, hoping DK does something to save his teammate, but it's easier said than done. Levante has an entire smoke for himself. You can now use that third person, to watch over it. And they'll get a very good idea of where DK isn't. And that's going to give them a very good idea of where he should be. And then it needs some absolute miracle shots. The last member of the Saints to pull this one back somehow.
Yeah, on the shield. 12 kills as well. Win or die, opening things up today. That's just going to sweep his way around. The more he can go around towards that east position, he's going to expose DK. I think they're starting to work out what I feel like he's going to be. DK looking down towards that east. Sprays to try and get him out. They're looking maybe at that tree. Leosh now in a car. They're going to sweep his way past. They are looking on the one. Levante not giving much up. More importantly, DK can't see him. Now, this is a big thing, Kara. If they think he's there, do they get in the car and go for the drive-by? Does DK get the opportunity to put this down to a 1 versus 1? It's all dependent on the path in Leosh takes.
You never want to be drive-by into the blue here. It's the worst mistake one of I can make. We can see Levante. He's having a bit of fun with it, right? He's just spraying empty spaces just to stay less bored here. Just to make sure that he's passing the time favorably. Now they're going for the C4. They have a good idea of where he is. They want to close this one out in style.
Do you think so? I think they still think he's in the tree. He's not exposed himself. He's counted. Hopefully better than Marcelo. Stop the fun of that, though. They have no idea. Now they do. He has to take the shot. The C4 won't do the damage. I think he's going to check out towards zone. He holds the angle. He does check towards zone. It's not as an explosive win, but it has been an explosive start, though, for win or die. A 22-point game. And a 22-point game, it will be. Win for them at the start, win for them at the end. They will be putting themselves back on top of that leaderboard. But it has been explosive for games. And I suppose our household names, majority, have been up there fighting.
As Twitch chat would say, the Weebs win again. They won game 1. They win game 4. The anime logo does it all. Gonna be in first place after this if my maths aren't horrible again. For Esports, not able to get the same performance consistently here in game number 4, but they're looking monstrous, and that's what we expect from Win or Die. We've had some slower weeks from them, where I was a little bit confused why they were falling so short, because they look so good when they look good. But right now, super solid stuff.
Yeah, it has been pretty solid performance for them the whole way through, and that sweep through at the end. You close out. And again, 12 kills for game number 1 and 12 kills for game number 4. But it didn't really stop for them. They had pretty much a good sweep in throughout. They did 4-1 in the third, but first, second, and fourth looking pretty good. Let's touch on Foot Esports, though. Foot Esports, though, first couple of games had the zone, they had the control, they found themselves pretty much up there, and I think they've done enough to pretty much lock that spot in. We are looking for a top 8.
Yeah, that's the big thing, right? You gotta look at this leaderboard and you gotta realize it's not about winning. It's not about second place. It's about top 8. You want to qualify to the Super Cup. There's a slight bit of prize money in each player cup, so winning is nice. It's a nice bonus. But you are playing for Super Cups or Master Cups, and this time we've just had a Super Cup, so we are playing for the Masters, and we are playing for the Masters that also counts for the International Masters, right? The chance to prove yourself. I say international, I should say interregional. Prove yourself against the Americas later on. So the most prestigious Masters event that we've had all year. You want to be qualifying for Masters 3. You want to be having a chance at Masters 4. So that top 8 is what everybody's looking to lock in.
Yeah, Masters West, though, it is the final part, though, towards this series. There is a last chance where these teams might be looking for a final opportunity to get, I suppose, the final points against their team name and stand the chance to take on the region. EMEA versus North America will be pretty big, though. Good place. A lot of other teams, though, impressive for me. I know AIA also standing the test of time when it comes up. Hands Hope will be looking to try and work their way in as well. Weebu obviously with a good game, and they find themselves in the top part of the leaderboard. So again, as we come back to that kind of one game and it's done and dusted, or one game can really change the leaderboard, it felt like it has been the case today. I think that's part and parcel with these top teams sponging the top of the leaderboard. We've taken opportunity, getting a good win, the amount of kills, so looking to secure their spot.
Sad for Saints. I was really hoping they'd get away with this one. I was really hoping they'd close it out, but they do. Again, I said it wasn't free. They had a lot of challenges along the way, and every challenge cost them a player or two, so I couldn't pull it through in the end. No shame losing to a win or die. I just wish they would have managed to keep it as a 4-man, keep it strong, and then you're going to beat win or die in a 4v2 almost every single time, but getting there is not as easy as talking about it from our comfortable caster seats, you know.
We've got all the information we can see further afield. Right, after our first 4 games, though, this is how the leaderboard or the lay of the land will end up. Win or Die do find themselves at 62 points. Footy Sports, though, on 46. But then we have a huge drop down to third. It's good to see the Saints, though, work themselves into a third. But from 29 down to 22, which is our cutoff point, it still means, though, with the final 4 games left here, Koa, teams on the right-hand side of the leaderboard, 1 game.
Yeah.
And with a good handful of kills is going to do a wee woo and put yourself on that left side of the leaderboard. I can kind of, for me, tick maybe win or die 100%, tick kind of that Footy Sports. It's kind of third down, which I'm looking at now. They need to come back strong. They need to confirm their spots tomorrow. 100%.
Top 2 is qualified. Everybody else isn't. And Without Dope is in 15th place right now, but a 6-kill win puts them in the top 8, right? So everything is up for grabs. Everybody can still make it tomorrow. I'm surprised to see a Slam G in 10th here with only 14 points. Once again, 1 good game and they're in the top 8, and that's all they need. And they will play some good games tomorrow. I am sure of it. Is it going to be enough for top 8? I'm not 100%, because a lot of the teams at the top 8 look like good teams to me right now. Show a lot of promise. So Slam G, they need to get into gear if they want to lock in that Masters early.
And that's a big thing. Again, you look on the right side of the leaderboard, you've got Skittles, you expect to be in, Conquest expect to be in. I think they've done enough for the last legs. Then you've got Slam G, or kind of a shoe-in, a household name. Beer Fellas have impressed us as well. So there's a lot of opportunities now for these teams to kind of get in, but it's going to be down to these kind of teams. Actually, do you know what? Like, you've got 4 games left here, Koal. You've got to throw everything at this. And if you don't get through in the top 8, you've got 1 more week to go. But actually, arguably, this might be the better week. We've got EWC, teams might be traveling back. Actually, the opportunities now to lock yourself into one of these final Masters. Why not take it with 4 games remaining?
Lock it in once you can. Lock it in while you can is what 100% what a lot of these teams are trying to do tomorrow. We are going to be back tomorrow, same time, same place. If you want to watch more TPP action, you can watch the Americas later on, or you're back tomorrow with us with the last 4 games to see who makes it to Master 3. Have a good rest of the evening, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow.